Not yet graduated, and my goddess gave me quadruplets. Just after breaking up, Lin Chen was called to the hospital to sign. The beautiful schoolgirl is about to give birth. She is pregnant with her own children, and they are quadruplets. It's over, for money-eating beasts, how can we feed them? Fortunately, there is a nanny system. When the host's child is born, you will be rewarded with a childcare fund of 1 million. A Mercedes-Benz G-Class top-end version. Name the baby and be rewarded with shares of a listed company. Teach the baby to speak, and be rewarded. Chapter 1, we just broke up, and I was called to the hospital to sign papers. Modu Normal University. Lin Chen, from now on, let's break up. Inside the classroom, Wang Bingbing's cold voice echoed. The surrounding students were in an uproar. What's going on? Is there gossip? Oh. Lin Chen nodded. If you want to break up, then break up. You? Wang Bingbing was irritated by Lin Chen's indifferent attitude. Don't you want to know the reason? Wang Bingbing frowned and coldly said, because you're always making empty promises. Last month, you said you'd buy me an Hermes bag, and now what? I've completely seen through you. Liu Bo is better. The second day we were together, he gave me a pair of shoes worth over 10,000. You're not even worth a single hair from Liu Bo. You're such a miser. The class was immediately shocked. Who is Liu Bo? That name sounds a bit familiar. Coincidentally, I know Liu Bo. This guy isn't good looking at all, and is only about 1.6 meters tall. How did Wang Bingbing end up with him? Turns out Liu Bo's family runs an old Fengxiang jewelry store. They are rich. I get it, he's loaded. The students chatted among themselves, marveling at the advantages of wealth. At that moment, a tall figure rushed into the classroom, looking anxious. Her arrival immediately attracted everyone's attention. The girl was dressed in a black and white JK uniform, her long, slender, and fair legs complemented by lace stockings, making many of the boys' imaginations run wild. Zhu Huimin. A well-known internet celebrity from Modu Normal University, with over 5 million followers on Douyin TikTok in China, so many people recognized her. Lin Chen. Zhu Huimin scanned the classroom and quickly locked her gaze on Lin Chen, then rushed toward him. Hurry, come with me. Oh, is there something wrong? Lin Chen was confused. She was pulling him away without saying a word. What did she mean? There's no time to explain. I'll tell you on the way, Zhu Huimin lowered her voice. If you don't come with me, you'll definitely regret it. Hearing this, Lin Chen fell silent. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Zhu Huimin grabbed Lin Chen's hand and pulled him out of the classroom. At that moment, Wang Bingbing's face darkened. What was this guy up to? At the school entrance. Now you can explain, right? Lin Chen couldn't help but ask. Zhu Huimin pursed her lips and asked, do you remember Li Ziran? Li Ziran? Lin Chen felt like the name sounded familiar, but he couldn't quite place it. I don't know her. Lin Chen replied. You? Zhu Huimin was speechless. You slept with her, got her pregnant, and now you're saying you don't know her? You really are a scumbag. Upon hearing this, Lin Chen froze for a moment. Then something clicked in his mind, and he asked, is she tall, about 1.68 meters, usually wears her hair in a bun like a dancer, and once wore a Swarovski black swan necklace around her neck? Yes, that's her. Finally, you remembered. Zhu Huimin said excitedly. Lin Chen nodded. He indeed remembered. It was about last winter when Lin Chen went to a bar with a few friends and got drunk. In a haze, he ended up going to a hotel room with a beautiful woman. That woman was Li Ziran, and Lin Chen only later found out her name. That night was unforgettable because it was quite an adventure. She is pregnant? Could it be my child? Just as this thought crossed his mind, a voice rang in his mind. Ding! Baby daddy system is binding. Host, don't doubt it. Li Ziran's child is yours, and it's quadruplets. Option 1, go with Zhu Huimin to the hospital. Reward, 500,000 yuan in cash, a baby set, and a villa at the Bund in Modu. Option 2, refuse to go with Zhu Huimin. Reward, a full skin account for the Game King of Glory, and 10 yuan in cash. Lin Chen. I actually got a system like in web novels. Holy crap. Could I be the chosen one? 10 yuan or a big villa? Even a primary school student would know which to choose. Lin Chen, get in the car. At that moment, Zhu Weiman's Didi ride-hailing car arrived, and Lin Chen quickly snapped out of his daze and got into the car with her. The car headed straight for the city's People's Hospital. At the hospital, when Lin Chen and Zhu Weiman arrived, Li Ziran had just been pushed into the delivery room. But as she entered, Li Ziran glanced at Lin Chen. Her expression changed drastically. Chapter 2, The First Time Meeting the Babies. God, please bless us, please bless us. Outside the delivery room, Zhu Weiman kept praying, while Lin Chen was equally flustered and nervous. He was still a student and, to be honest, he wasn't prepared at all, certainly not psychologically ready to be a father. About half an hour later, the red light outside the delivery room turned green, and a nurse pushed a baby crib out. She looked at Lin Chen and smiled. You must be the father, right? Congratulations. She then pointed to the baby crib. This is the eldest, a girl, weighing 5 pounds 3 ounces. This is the second, a girl, weighing 5 pounds 2 ounces. This is the third, a boy, weighing 5 pounds 3 ounces. And this is the fourth, a girl, weighing 5 pounds 1 ounce. Lin Chen was stunned. My God. Zhu Weiman couldn't contain her excitement. Quadruplets. It was the first time she had ever seen them in real life. And what was even more amazing was that these quadruplets were born by her best friend, Li Ziran. In that moment, Zhu Weiman felt like she was becoming a godmother. Only about 5 pounds. Zhu Weiman observed the babies. I remember my cousin's baby weighed over 7 pounds when born. In general, newborns who weigh between 5 to 8 pounds are considered normal. If a baby weighs less than 5 pounds, they are considered low birth weight, and over 8 pounds is considered high birth weight. As for multiples, their weight is generally slightly lower than single babies, mainly due to the nutrition they received during pregnancy, the nurse explained patiently. Upon hearing this, Zhu Weiman nodded. I see. Lin Chen, I think the babies look a lot like you. Especially their noses, eyebrows, and eyes. The 4 babies are definitely going to be very good looking when they grow up. Zhu Weiman smiled. Lin Chen. They just got here, how can you tell what they look like? But to be fair, Lin Chen thought the babies were a bit ugly. Is it normal for newborns to look like this? Of course, Lin Chen wasn't complaining or dissatisfied. He was just expressing his thoughts. He agreed with Zhu Weiman once the babies grew up, they would surely be very attractive. After all, he was handsome, and Li Ziran's beauty was unmatched. How could the babies possibly look bad? All right, I need to take the babies for an exam, the nurse said. After babies are born, they must undergo a full medical checkup. This includes measuring head circumference, weight, length, and ensuring there are no deformities or defects. If there are any deformities or defects, the parents must be immediately notified, and corrective surgery may be suggested. Li Ziran. After the babies were taken away for their checkup, Zhu Weiman and Lin Chen entered the delivery room. Both of them were eager to know how Li Ziran was doing now. At that moment, Li Ziran, exhausted and weakened from childbirth, gazed at Lin Chen as he entered. It was hard for her to believe what had just happened. Lin Chen, too, stared at Li Ziran. They both looked at each other, and Lin Chen felt awkward, unsure of what to say. Please don't leave, a nurse reminded them from the side. In the 2 hours after delivery, the mother is at a high risk of bleeding, so you need to keep an eye on her condition. Lin Chen nodded, understanding. Zhu Weiman also gave a nod of acknowledgement. Okay, nurse. Right after that, Li Ziran was pushed into the observation room. At that moment, Zhu Weiman's phone rang. Millimeter, okay, I'll be there right away. Once the call ended, Zhu Weiman turned to Lin Chen and apologized. Sorry, I have something urgent to take care of back at school. Can you look after Ziran here? I'll be back soon. Chapter 3, What to do when there's no milk. Start lactating. All right. Lin Chen nodded. As soon as Zhu Weiman left, a system prompt rang in Lin Chen's mind. Ding. Congratulations, host. Your babies have been born. Reward for the host, a daddy starter pack. Do you wish to open it now? Lin Chen's eyes lit up. Open it. Congratulations, host. You've received 1 million yuan for parenting. Congratulations, host. You've received a top model Mercedes-Benz G-Class. Congratulations, host. You've received a nanny knowledge library. Lin Chen froze for a moment, still processing what just happened. A flood of knowledge rushed into his mind. Once he absorbed the information, Lin Chen suddenly felt like an all-knowing, all-capable nanny. Vroom tilde. His phone buzzed, and Lin Chen checked it. A message indicated that the 1 million yuan had been deposited into his account. With the earlier 500,000 yuan, Lin Chen now had a total of 1.5 million yuan in his account. Not to mention the assets like the Bund villa and the Mercedes-Benz G-Class. This was amazing. Although raising a child in this day and age was expensive, with his current financial situation, Lin Chen had no problem supporting for little, money-eating beasts. 2 hours later. Lin Chen. Li Ziran woke up. I'm here. Lin Chen, sitting by her side, gently took her hand. Does anything hurt? Are you feeling uncomfortable anywhere? No. That's good. Lin Chen smiled in relief. Typically, after giving birth, if there were no immediate complications in the first 2 hours, the mother would usually be fine afterward. At that moment, a nurse entered, pushing a baby crib. Is this Li Ziran? Yes, Li Ziran answered immediately. All the tests are done. The babies are all perfectly healthy. The nurse smiled, pushing the crib closer so Li Ziran could see her babies. Li Ziran. This was the first time Li Ziran saw her babies, her own flesh and blood. The joy she felt was beyond words. Can I hold them? Li Ziran asked the nurse. Of course. The nurse smiled softly. I'll do it. As the nurse bent down to pick up the baby, Lin Chen quickly spoke up. You're a first-time dad, do you know how to hold the baby? The nurse teased him lightly. Of course I do. Lin Chen smiled confidently. Newborns are very fragile, so you have to support their neck, spine, and hips properly. Their neck, lower back, and chest are not fully developed yet. He demonstrated, holding the baby's neck gently with his left hand and supporting the baby's bottom with his right, lifting the baby carefully. Wow, looks like you've done your homework. The nurse was surprised by Lin Chen's adeptness. Lin Chen chuckled. Holding babies is easy. It's not hard to learn. The nurse nodded approvingly and then turned to Li Ziran. By the way, you haven't started lactating yet, right? Once the babies wake up, they'll definitely need to feed. If you haven't started lactating yet, you should try to stimulate it. Li Ziran's face turned slightly red. What does start lactating mean? How do I do it? Li Ziran was a little embarrassed to ask. Starting lactation means the first time you feed the baby, the nurse explained. To stimulate it, you just need to massage or gently squeeze. Oh, I see. Thank you. You're welcome. With that, the nurse left the room. At that moment, the second baby in Li Ziran's arms began to cry. Is it time for a feed? Li Ziran looked down at her chest. But she didn't have any milk yet. Try what the nurse suggested, massage it a bit. Lin Chen spoke up from the side. Millimeter. Li Ziran shyly murmured, Could you turn around? Lin Chen. He understood that Li Ziran was a bit embarrassed, so he turned around respectfully. 1 minute. 2 minutes. 3 minutes of massaging, but Li Ziran still had no milk. Even though she tried following Lin Chen's suggestion and let the baby suck, it still didn't work. Lin Chen. What should we do now? Li Ziran felt helpless. Her baby was crying for milk, and she felt both anxious and worried. Looks like we only have one option left. Lin Chen smiled. Li Ziran looked at Lin Chen with curiosity. What option? I'll suck. Chapter 4 I will take care of 3 meals a day from now on. Li Ziran was dumbfounded. Can it still be like this? This is the only way. You don't want our baby to go hungry, do you? Lin Chen said. Wow. At this time, the baby's crying continued, and Li Ziran did not hesitate any longer. Okay, then you do it. Li Ziran thought, since the child was given to Lin Chen. What's there to be shy about? Afterwards, a scene that was difficult to describe in words took place in the observation room. After it's over. Li Ziran finally has breast milk. There were milk stains on the corners of Lin Chen's mouth. Li Ziran's pretty face turned red. Fortunately, they were the only ones in the observation room, otherwise they would be so embarrassed if someone saw them. Okay, start feeding. Lin Chen smiled faintly. He licked the corner of his mouth and tasted the breast milk. This action made Li Ziran feel extremely shy. He gave Lin Chen a blank look. Li Ziran didn't have time to pay attention to Lin Chen. Looking at the baby who was crying due to hunger, she immediately fed her. Soon, Erbao started sucking frantically, eagerly, as if he was tasting the best delicacy in the world. Ziran. Lin Chen. Just then, Vivian Chow came back. Seeing that she was holding something in her hand, Lin Chen couldn't help but ask, "What did you buy?" "Lunch, of course. Ziran hasn't even had breakfast yet." Zhu Huimin smiled and looked at Li Ziran, who was feeding her baby. "Ziran, I bought you pork ribs, rice and a bowl of chicken soup. I bought this from the restaurant owned by my aunt. The quality of the meat is absolutely guaranteed, unlike those unscrupulous restaurants out there. This chicken soup is also made from a hen that is as big as rice grains. Drink it while it's hot after you feed your baby." Li Ziran was deeply touched by Zhu Huimin's thoughtfulness. "Thank you, Huimin. You're welcome. We're friends now," Joey Wang said with a smile. "Pork chop rice." At this time, Lin Chen couldn't help but speak out. "What's wrong?" asked Vivian Chow. Lin Chen smiled and shook his head. "It's nothing, it's just that Ziran just gave birth to a child, and her gastrointestinal function has not recovered yet. It is more suitable to eat relatively light and easily digestible food. For example, egg custard, porridge, etc." Is that so?" Zhu Huimin was a little surprised. If Lin Chen had told her, she really wouldn't have known these little-known facts. "I didn't expect that mothers would have such requirements. But it's okay. Just don't eat pork chop rice like this too often for now. It doesn't matter if you eat it once or twice. But this kind of chicken soup can be drunk more often," Lin Chen said with a smile. Li Ziran couldn't help but feel warm inside. Why did Lin Chen know so much? He must have secretly done his homework while I fell asleep just now. Thinking of this, Li Ziran smiled sweetly. Ding! Congratulations to their host for obtaining the doting wife character, reward skill, god-level cooking. The voice of the system suddenly rang in Lin Chen's mind. Immediately, a stream of memories flooded into Lin Chen's brain. In just a moment, Lin Chen changed from a person who couldn't cook very well. Become a world-class chef. Lin Chen can cook any dish you can name, and it will taste delicious. Even a Michelin 5-star chef would pale in comparison to Lin Chen. The system is awesome. Lin Chen sighed in his heart. Ziran, what do you want to eat tonight? But it has to be something you can eat now. I will prepare it for you in the evening, Zhu Huimin said with a smile. Li Ziran looked at Zhu Huimin. She is indeed a good friend of China. Just as she was about to speak, Lin Chen's voice rang out. Ziran, I will be responsible for your 3 meals a day from now on. Confinement is very important. If you don't eat well, your body will have sequelae in the future. Upon hearing this, Li Ziran and Zhu Huimin were both stunned. Did I hear you correctly? You are responsible for 3 meals a day. Do you know how to cook? Zhu Huimin questioned. It wasn't that she looked down on Lin Chen. But in her opinion, few men can cook, and Lin Chen, at such a young age, can actually cook. Li Ziran was also a little confused because she had the same idea as Zhu Huimin. I can definitely cook. Lin Chen smiled faintly and said, is this worth making a fuss about? It's normal to be able to cook these days. Don't you know how to do that? This question made Zhu Huimin feel embarrassed. She really can't cook. When she has nothing to do, she can only play King of Glory. Lin Chen, I want to eat crucian carp soup tonight. Should I be able to eat it? Li Ziran looked at Lin Chen with a smile. Sure, do you know how to eat fermented rice and eggs? Crucian carp soup with fermented rice and eggs is very nourishing. Yes, fermented rice, wine and eggs are so good. Okay, I'll arrange it for you tonight. In the following time, Lin Chen was busy running around in the hospital, but with Zhu Huimin around, Lin Chen was able to handle the work. Lin Chen, are you coming out to Helen's tonight? There are girls wearing black stockings. No. Lin Chen refused without even thinking about it. If it were in the past, Lin Chen would definitely go there. He used to be a frequent visitor to Helen's, mainly because there were many beautiful girls there. But now he is a father. Li Ziran also needs his care. Lin Chen is no longer interested in that kind of place. After all, I am a good man. Damn it. You're not going. That's not like you. This chapter is not finished yet. Please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. Best friend Yi Wei was shocked. Is this really the Lin Chen he knew? Let's talk sometime. I'm busy right now. After replying to the other party's WeChat message, Lin Chen put away his phone and went to a street behind the hospital. Confinement Meal Center. There are most stores of this type behind the hospital. Lin Chen chose one and walked in. Welcome. The owner is a young woman with delicate features, light eyeshadow on the corners of her eyes, wearing a suspender skirt, and having a sexy and charming figure. What dishes would you like to order, or a confinement meal? The ingredients here are changed every day, so they are guaranteed to be fresh. The young woman Lin Chen has a very nice voice. Can I do it myself, please? Lin Chen explained, just choose the ingredients, I'll cook them in your kitchen, and then pack them up and take them away. There are often news reports about unhygienic conditions in restaurants and hotels outside. Lin Chen is worried about what others do. With his god-level cooking skills, Lin Chen can ensure that the food he cooks is healthy and delicious. Lin Chen was shocked by Lin Chen's words. She has run this confinement meal center for several years, and this is the first time she has encountered a customer making such a request. Don't worry, I'll pay you the original price. Okay, come with me. After a slight hesitation, Lin Chen agreed to Lin Chen's request. If Lin Chen does it himself, it can save her time. Why not? She just doubted whether Lin Chen could prepare postpartum meals. Chapter 5: The Boss Lady's Envy. In the kitchen, Lin Chen looked around and found that, as expected, the place was very clean. If there are any health risks, I'm afraid the other party wouldn't dare to bring me here. What ingredients do you want? There is a freezer over there, go and pick them yourself, said Lin Chen. Lin Chen nodded and then picked a few ingredients. Crucian carp, corn flour, onion, ginger, garlic. Eggs, rice wine. Seeing the ingredients Lin Chen chose, Lin Chen was very surprised. What kind of dish was he going to make? Crucian carp soup. Rice wine and eggs. Auntie Wang, please go to the front hall to receive the guests. Lin Chen said to an employee next to her that her confinement center received a lot of meal orders and it was impossible for one person to handle it all. So Lin Chen hired 7 or 8 employees, or to be more precise, aunties to help with cooking. Your sword skills are pretty good. Lin Chen stood beside Lin Chen, who was descaling a crucian carp at the moment, which made Lin Chen dazzled. Lin Chen removed the fish scales in just 2 or 3 strokes, his movements were incredibly smooth. Lin Chen. Why does the way he scales fish seem different from mine? How did you do that? What? Scraping fish scales, how come you scraped them clean in less than 3 seconds? Lin Chen asked her doubts. Lin Chen smiled and said, didn't you see that I added vinegar just now? Vinegar? Yes, wipe the fish body with vinegar first. Then use a scraper to scrape off the fish scales in the opposite direction. It's easy and labor-saving. You can also pour boiling water over the fish and then use a small spoon to gently scrape the scales off easily. Lin Chen was slightly stunned. So that's how it is. She is also a great chef. The number of fish killed must have been hundreds, if not thousands. This is the first time I learned about this little-known fact about fish scaling. This handsome guy has something. Lin Chen's beautiful eyes were shining, and there was a little more admiration in the way she looked at Lin Chen. Next, clean the fish's internal organs. Lin Chen continued to the next step, removing the mucus from the fish. Which bottle of vegetable oil is it? Lin Chen took a look at the bottles and jars and asked Lin Chen. This bottle. Lin Chen pointed, and then asked, haven't we already cleaned the internal organs? Why is there still vegetable oil? Hearing this, Lin Chen smiled helplessly. To remove the slime from the fish, of course. Fish mucus protects the fish from losing moisture too quickly, but this mucus indirectly affects the taste of the dish. So before you do that, be sure to drop a few drops of vegetable oil into the water, then scrub the fish with your hands, and the slime will be washed off. Lin Chen. Is there such a saying? She never cared about these things before. Will this be too much trouble? Lin Chen said that if it were her, these steps would have been ignored. I have to say, Lin Chen is really meticulous. Trouble? Of course not. Besides, the confinement meals for my wife must be more detailed. Lin Chen spoke with a faint smile. After hearing these words, for some reason, Lin Chen felt like she was being fed a handful of dog food. When she was in confinement, her husband played games every day. I have never enjoyed such treatment. Moreover, because my husband sits for long periods of time playing games, his kidney function has been a bit poor. In short, Lin Chen was very dissatisfied with her husband in every aspect. She used to comfort herself that all men in the world were like this, but now Lin Chen made her look at him in a completely new light. Next, Lin Chen cut the fish with the slime removed into pieces, then added a little salt and shredded ginger, put it into a casserole and simmered it over low heat. Afterwards, Lin Chen began to prepare to make fermented rice wine eggs. Yes, this fermented rice wine egg has the effect of promoting blood circulation and warming the stomach. It is very good to eat it during confinement. Lin Chen said with a smile. Lin Chen thought, do you need to tell me this? In fact, fermented rice wine eggs have another use, which many people may not know. Lin Chen said. What? Volume and prevent sagging. Lin Chen's words made Lin Meixian's delicate face blush. She couldn't help but look down at herself. Phew. Luckily I don't need it. Although she is already 35 years old, she has maintained a good figure, as if she has never given birth to a child. Little brother, I didn't expect you to know so much. Lin Chen rolled her eyes at Lin Chen. She had never thought that she would be taught a lesson by a younger brother. If Lin Chen hadn't told her, she really wouldn't have known that fermented rice wine eggs had such a function. Oh, no. Lin Chen was just joking, he had no intention of teasing the young woman in front of him. Not long. The crucian carp soup and fermented rice wine eggs are ready. Lin Chen opened the casserole, and immediately an intoxicating aroma wafted out. It smells so good. Lin Chen looked at the crucian carp soup in the casserole. The soup was golden in color, fragrant and very delicious. What's wrong? You want to eat? Seeing Lin Meixian's greedy look, Lin Chen asked with a smile. Mum? Lin Chen did not hide her desire for the fish soup. Then take a look at this. This is for my wife to eat. I can't share it with you. Lin Chen said with a smile. Hearing this, Lin Meixian's face turned black. Another daughter-in-law. So envious and jealous. Lin Chen is really envious. She is 1.8 meters tall. She is handsome. She can also cook. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. How can there be such a perfect man? A thought suddenly popped up in Lin Meixian's mind, which scared her. The thought was, how great it would be if I were Lin Chen's wife. How much? After packing up his things, Lin Chen asked. Why? Lin Chen sighed and returned to reality. Returned to their hospital with dinner. At this time, Li Ziran was feeding Sanbao. As for Dabao and the other three, they were lying neatly in the stroller beside them. Sleeps like a pig. After all, they are just born. Newborn babies only sleep and eat. Lin Chen. When Li Ziran saw Lin Chen coming back, a smile appeared on her face. Well, I brought some confinement meals. Eat them while they are hot. Did you make this yourself? Yes. Lin Chen opened the lunchbox. Sanbao was now full and fell asleep peacefully in Li Ziran's arms. Let me. Lin Chen knew that Li Ziran wanted to put Sanbao in the crib, so he quickly got up. Well, be gentle, don't wake him up. Good. Afterwards, Lin Chen gently put the third baby into the crib and let him sleep with his older sisters. After Sanbao lay down, he did not wake up, and Lin Chen couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. At this time, Li Ziran finally had the chance to have dinner. Lin Chen, this fish soup tastes amazing. Li Ziran took a sip of the crucian carp soup and was shocked. Even the ones she made herself don't taste this good. Lin Chen is so awesome. Is it delicious? If it is, drink more. If you like it, I will make it for you often in the future. Lin Chen smiled slightly. Okay. Li Ziran was very happy. She felt very lucky to have such a good man by her side. Immediately, Li Ziran thought of something and said to Lin Chen. The babies don't have names yet, how about we give them some names? Chapter 6: The Art of Changing Diapers. Name it. Okay. Lin Chen suddenly became excited. Originally, naming is something that the whole family should sit down and discuss with the elders. But unfortunately, Lin Chen is an orphan. He doesn't have any family. To be precise, Lin Chen doesn't know who his family members are. Because he grew up in an orphanage. Of course, for more than 20 years, Lin Chen did not feel inferior because of his background, because of his optimistic personality. The main reason is that Lin Chen is too handsome. He has been pursued by beautiful classmates since he was a child, so it would be strange for him to have low self-esteem. What do you want to name the babies? Li Ziran directly gave the power of naming to Lin Chen. After all, he was the child's father. Let me think about it. To be honest, Lin Chen was not prepared at all because he became a father suddenly. So now I have no idea. It's okay, we'll think about it slowly, there's no rush. Seeing that Lin Chen couldn't think of anything for the time being, Li Ziran smiled and said, Lin Chen nodded. It was true that he could take some time to think about naming the child, but the main thing was that he didn't want to name the child too casually. Wow. Just then, the 4 babies in the crib woke up. It didn't matter that he woke up by himself, but he cried so loudly that he woke up all the brothers and sisters around him. Wow. 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 4 babies were crying together, the sound was really loud. Fortunately, Vivian Chow came over at this time. Don't cry, godmother will hug you. Joey Wong holds her second baby and coaxes him patiently. After a while, Erbao gradually stopped making any sound. At the same time, the babies in Lin Chen and Li Ziran's arms were also coaxed into falling asleep. Host, be close to the babies and you will be rewarded with 10,000 yuan in cash. Host, be close to the babies and you will be rewarded with 10,000 yuan in cash. Host, be close to the babies and you will be rewarded with 10,000 yuan in cash. The voice of the system kept ringing in Lin Chen's mind. No way, just for hugging a baby, there is a financial reward. Lin Chen was directly shocked. This is so cool. The nanny system is awesome. Hey, why is the diaper so heavy? Did you poop? Zhu Weiman suddenly spoke. At this moment, she was holding Erbao's butt, but the feeling was obviously not right. I guessed it right. There is a diaper at your feet. Please take one and help change the baby. Lin Chen said with a smile. Zhu Weiman was stunned for a moment, then took out a diaper from a bag at her feet. After getting the diapers, Vivian Chow realized a problem. How do you change a diaper? Zhu Weiman asked embarrassedly, she had never changed a diaper before. I don't know either. Li Ziran was also embarrassed. After all, it was her first time being a mother and she had no experience. Or, just put it on like you're putting on pants, Li Ziran suggested. After hearing the conversation between the two, Lin Chen felt helpless. Forget it, let me show you guys. Lin Chen spoke. After all, he was someone who had acquired top-notch nanny skills. It's just changing a diaper, no problem at all. Lin Chen grabbed the baby's feet with both hands, lifted up the baby's hips and cleaned the diaper. Then, Lin Chen used a tissue to wipe the baby's butt clean. After wiping it clean, Lin Chen laid the baby on the bed, quickly put a new diaper under the baby's buttocks, and replaced it with a clean diaper. See? It's that simple. Lin Chen smiled and said, just be gentle with your movements. The babies are still young and their bones haven't grown yet. As he spoke, Lin Chen used his hand to rub Erbao's butt to make the diaper fit more comfortably. Joey Wong and Li Ziran were shocked. Lin Chen's movements were so skillful. It was as if he had practiced them hundreds of times. Lin Chen, tell me the truth, have you ever been a nanny before? Zhu Weiman looked at Lin Chen deeply and asked. No. Lin Chen said helplessly, I just saw others change it. All right. Zhu Weiman didn't think much about this reason. She looked at Lin Chen with admiration and said, I feel that you have a talent for being a nanny. You don't need to hire a nanny or anything in the future. You can take good care of the baby by yourself. That's what I think. Lin Chen said with a smile. 3 days later. Today is the day Li Ziran is discharged from the hospital. If it is a normal birth, you can usually be discharged from the hospital 48 hours after delivery. But Li Ziran had a cesarean section, so it will take 3 or 4 days for her to be discharged from the hospital. During the confinement period, you must take care of your body. After returning home, don't be exposed to too much cold wind, don't take a cold shower, and don't eat spicy food. It is normal to have uterine contraction pain in the past few days. If the pain is particularly severe, you should come back to the hospital for examination. 1 month later, you have to bring your wife and child back to the hospital for a follow-up check. Another important point is that you can't have sex again until at least a month later. The director of gynecology said patiently that the people sitting opposite her were Lin Chen and Li Ziran. It turned out that the two of them listened very carefully, and when they heard the last point, Li Ziran blushed. Lin Chen also felt very uncomfortable. It will take at least a month before I can touch Li Ziran again. This is too painful. Okay, thank you, doctor. Lin Chen thanked the doctor and then completed the discharge procedures for Li Ziran. You've rented a house outside, right? Let's go over to your place. My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later. Lin Chen said that although the system rewarded him with a villa, he had not gone to see it yet. He would go and see it when he had some free time in a few days. Yeah, okay. Li Ziran nodded, then took out his cell phone and prepared to call a DD. What are you doing? Noticing Li Ziran's actions, Lin Chen couldn't help but ask. Take a taxi, otherwise, how can we get to the rental house? Li Ziran said. Zhu Weiman on the side interrupted and said, it seems that taking a taxi is not enough, there are 4 babies here. Don't worry, I'm prepared. As he said that, Lin Chen took out his car keys and walked towards a Mercedes-Benz G not far away. Under the gaze of the two, Lin Chen drove the G-Class over. Fortunately, Lin Chen just passed the driving test last month, otherwise even if the system rewarded him with a luxury car, he wouldn't be able to drive it. Oh my god. Lin Chen actually drives a G-Class. So rich. My uncle also drives a G-Class, but Lin Chen's car is obviously more powerful than my uncle's, and it costs at least $4 million to start. Zhu Weiman was shocked. She even rubbed her eyes, thinking that she was jealous. At this moment, Li Ziran was also extremely surprised. The relationship between the two seemed very close, and she even gave birth to a child for Lin Chen, but at this moment Li Ziran suddenly realized that she knew too little about Lin Chen. After all, the two of them just met for one night. Don't be dazed. Come, pick up the baby first. Lin Chen said. But can there be room for 4 babies? Asked Vivian Chow. Sure. I modified the car yesterday so that it has a special crib. As he spoke, Lin Chen came to the back seat of the G-Class and pressed a button. Suddenly, the back seat popped out, creating a soft and comfortable stroller. Li Ziran and Zhu Weiman were stunned. That's awesome. Zhu Weiman gave Lin Chen a thumbs up. The back seat of a car can be modified like this. This is amazing. Chapter 7 Naming the Babies. In fact, this is a system modification and an original function. But Lin Chen couldn't possibly say that it was a system modification, right? So he could only say that he modified it himself. This modification is much more convenient. Li Ziran was also very impressed. Lin Chen, you are so smart. With this baby pad. In the future, even if you have 4 babies, it will be convenient to take them out together. There's no other way. Without this modification, 4 babies won't be able to sit in it. Lin Chen said. Although the Mercedes-Benz G-Class is an off-road vehicle, its interior space is larger than that of ordinary SUVs. But it's still not easy to fit for babies. But it's different with a mattress pad, as it allows the baby to lie on it. Then, the 3 of them gently carried the baby into the car. After placing the baby, Joey Wang and Li Ziran sat on both sides of the pad. Where do you rent your house? Lin Chen asked. Melinuan resettlement area. Li Ziran replied. 10 minutes later. A large G-Class slowly drove into their Melinuan resettlement area. Lin Chen couldn't help but frown. He didn't expect the community to be so old and without even the simplest greenery. It seems that just as Vivian Chow said, Li Ziran did not have a good time during her pregnancy. Lin Chen, I have to go back to school for classes. I'm leaving now. After gently placing the sleeping Sambao on the bed, Zhu Weiman checked the time and said to Lin Chen and Li Ziran. If there's anything urgent or you need to bring something, call me. Zhu Weiman looked at Li Ziran, Ziran, I will come to see you next time. Okay, be safe. After Vivian Chow left, the sound of a baby crying suddenly came from the room. Wow. After hearing the crying, Lin Chen and Li Ziran immediately came to the room. I saw that the second baby had woken up and was crying loudly on the bed. He must be hungry. Li Ziran immediately picked up the second baby, lifted up her shirt, and began to feed the second baby. Is this the legendary speed of light face changing? After the second baby sucked breast milk, he stopped crying the next second. This scene made Li Ziran laugh and cry. Ziran, I've thought of names for the babies. Lin Chen spoke with a smile. What's the name? Tell me. Li Ziran looked at Lin Chen expectantly. Lin Chen smiled and said, let's call Dabao Lin Qingyu. The second baby is called Lin Kasan. The fourth treasure is Lin Yue. Lin Qingyu, Lin Kasan, Lin Yue. Li Ziran silently recited the three names and nodded with satisfaction. All good, what should we call our son? If it's a son, just call him Lin Yi. Lin Chen said, I hope my son can live a happy and comfortable life when he grows up. Okay, then call me Lin Yi. Li Ziran was also very satisfied with the name. Ding! Their host named the babies and rewarded them with skills, God-level medical skills. The system's voice suddenly rang in my mind. Divine-level medical skills. Before Lin Chen could react, a wave of medical memories flooded into his brain. In the blink of an eye, Lin Chen became a peerless miracle doctor. No matter what terminal illness or difficult and complicated disease it is, Lin Chen has a way to cure it. This system is amazing. Lin Chen sighed in his heart again. Next, Lin Chen continued to take care of the babies at home. Newborn babies are easier to take care of. Apart from eating, they sleep and change diapers. Maybe it was because he had acquired the skill of top nanny, Lin Chen did not find it troublesome to take care of 4 babies. Buzz tilde tilde. Lin Chen's cell phone suddenly vibrated. He looked at the caller and saw that it was his roommate Wang Qiang. Lin Chen, where the hell have you been? As soon as the call was connected, Wang Qiang's anxious voice was heard. What's wrong? Lin Chen asked. Wang Qiang said anxiously, you haven't been to class for 3 days. I sent you a WeChat message but you didn't reply. Now the class teacher knows that you've been absent from class. Then what? Lin Chen asked calmly. And he's been looking for you all day today. Where have you been these past few days? You didn't even reply to my messages, so I thought you were missing. Wang Qiang was somewhat speechless. Lin Chen smiled and said, I must be busy outside. Please tell my class teacher for me. I will go back to school to find him tomorrow. Good. After the call, Lin Chen found that there were indeed several missed calls on his phone, which were from his class teacher. Lin Chen, what's wrong? Who called? Li Ziran came out of the room holding Sibao, who had just fallen asleep. Lin Chen smiled and said, it's okay, it's my roommate who called. I haven't been back to class these few days. So are you going back to class? Li Ziran asked helplessly. If Lin Chen left, she would not be able to take care of 4 children by herself. But Li Ziran didn't want Lin Chen to delay his studies because of this. In short, it's very contradictory. Yeah. I plan to go back to school tomorrow. Lin Chen said, by the way, talk to our class teacher about taking a leave of absence. What? You want to take a leave of absence from school? Li Ziran was stunned. Lin Chen actually wants to drop out of school. Yeah, if I go back to school, how will you take care of the child by yourself? Don't even think about hiring a nanny or anything like that. I don't feel comfortable letting someone else take care of our child. Lin Chen said, so I decided to take a leave of absence from school and stay at home with you to take care of our baby. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Hearing this, Li Ziran was very happy and longed for this kind of life. But will this delay your graduation? Li Ziran said worriedly. Lin Chen touched her head and said, what you said is not as important as our baby. That's true. Li Ziran nodded and said nothing more. As for Lin Chen's decision, I just need to support him behind the scenes. The next day, after saying something to Li Ziran, Lin Chen drove his G-Class towards Shanghai Normal University. At the same time, in front of the entrance of Shanghai Normal University. Wow! Porsche 918. Oh, the Porsche sports car is so cool. I'm so envious. I wonder if I'll be able to drive a Porsche in my lifetime. The owner of the car is coming down. He looks so familiar, Liu Bo. I saw a large group of students, both male and female, whispering towards a Porsche 918 not far away. The car door opened and a man who was only about 1.6 meters tall and looked ugly got out. He was wearing sunglasses and looked quite pretentious. Bobo, I have to say that the experience of driving the 918 is much better than that of your previous Audi Q6. A delicate voice was heard. The speaker was a pretty girl, Lin Chen's ex-girlfriend, Wang Bingbing. Liu Bo smiled and said, "Of course. How much does that shabby Audi cost?" "My 918 costs more than 1 million. More than 1 million. That's a lot." Wang Bingbing pretended to be surprised, but in fact she already knew the prices of some luxury cars. "Liu Bo, you are really capable." Wang Bingbing took Liu Bo's arm and said coquettishly, "This 918 of yours should be the best car in our school. It's better than all the cars of the school leaders." "Of course, Bic. Volkswagen, don't you see what kind of garbage trucks those school leaders drive? Their prices are not even as high as my purchase tax," Liu Bo said with disdain. At this moment, he felt that he was the most awesome person in the school. Wang Bingbing became even more excited when she heard this. As Liu Bo's current girlfriend, she naturally also benefited from it and felt honored. Just as the two of them were talking and laughing, Lin Chen appeared in his limited edition Mercedes-Benz G-Class. Chapter 8. Wang Bingbing, did you rent this car? Lin Chen appeared in a G-Class and immediately attracted the attention of the students around him. "Oh my god. Mercedes-Benz G-Class, what a cool car. It shouldn't be that serious, right? It's just a G-Class. Look how excited you all are. You can tell at first glance that you don't know anything about cars. This G-Class is the top model, and it's a limited edition. Its price will never be lower than that of a Rolls-Royce. Am I the only one who noticed that the license plate number of the G-Class is 8888? Damn it, this license plate number can buy my life." In an instant, all the students were shocked. And this is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that they saw an extremely handsome profile through their car window. Oh shit. At this moment, all the female classmates were fascinated by it. If a man just has money, I can only say it's quite dazzling. Because women these days are too obsessed with looks. Appearance is justice. Even if you have money, they may not pay attention to you. But it's different to be handsome and rich. Which girl can resist the charm of such a domineering man? Isn't this just a random killing? When did such a handsome guy appear in our school? Does anyone know him? Which department in our school is he from? Just when many people were curious about Lin Chen's identity. Lin Chen. After Lin Chen stopped the car, he suddenly heard a puzzled voice behind him. He turned around and found that the person calling him was his ex-girlfriend Wang Bingbing. At this moment, Wang Bingbing was still holding Liu Bo's arm. If it was before, Lin Chen might feel a little embarrassed. But now Lin Chen is very calm. "Lin Chen. It's really you." Wang Bingbing thought she had seen it wrong, but she didn't expect it to be Lin Chen. "Is this your ex-boyfriend? Didn't you say he was a poor guy?" On the side, Liu Bo's face looked extremely ugly. "If only poor people drive G-Class, then aren't I worse than a beggar?" Liu Bo also noticed the license plate number of the G-Class, 8888. Generally, this kind of license plate number is auctioned off and you may not be able to buy it even if you have money. It is no exaggeration to say that this license plate number is more valuable than the G-Class itself. Wang Bingbing was also unwilling to accept this fact. After all, she had been with Lin Chen before and knew a little about Lin Chen's abilities. "Lin Chen, you are so disgusting. Why didn't I realize you were so vain before?" Wang Bingbing said coldly, "You actually rented a luxury car to come here just to slap me in the face, is that interesting?" That's right, in Wang Bingbing's opinion, Lin Chen's G-Class must be rented. It's just to show off in front of me. It turned out to be rented. I was scared to death. Liu Bo patted his chest and said, "How could there be someone more powerful than himself in this school? It would cost several thousand yuan a day to rent a luxury car like this, right?" Liu Bo smiled faintly and said, "I advise you to drive carefully. If you scratch the paint, you will lose everything you own to compensate for it. That is See this Porsche 918? My boyfriend just bought it. That's real skill. What's the big deal about renting a car? Loser. Wang Bingbing hit back with disdain. Are you finished yet? Lin Chen glanced at the two of them indifferently. He was too lazy to pay attention to them and walked straight to the school gate. Damn it, why are you pretending? Lin Chen's attitude made Liu Bo very unhappy. Wang Bingbing quickly smiled and said, Don't be angry, brother Bo. People who are so vain will probably be like this for the rest of their lives. After Lin Chen entered the campus, he went straight to find the counselor. Dong dong. Come in. Upon hearing this, Lin Chen walked in confidently. The instructor's name was Li Qiusheng. He touched his glasses and looked at Lin Chen, who had returned. He said with an unhappy expression, Where have you been these days? If you have something to do, why don't you ask for leave from me? Why are you skipping classes? This counselor was a nice person. Although he was very angry, he did not criticize Lin Chen harshly. Lin Chen smiled slightly. Director Li, I have something urgent to do. I don't have time to ask you for leave. What's the emergency? Li Qiusheng picked up the teacup and took a sip. I'm a dad. Lin Chen said truthfully. Puff. Li Qiusheng's tea sprayed out directly, almost choking him to death. Did I hear you correctly? You're a father now. Li Qiusheng was confused. Lin Chen nodded. Are you really a father? You didn't lie to me. Oh, what good would it be to lie to you? Li Qiusheng looked at Lin Chen's serious expression and he knew that this boy was not lying to him. Besides, Lin Chen is not a person who likes to joke around. You guys, you can do it. Li Qiusheng patted Lin Chen's shoulder approvingly. He said that he was 28 years old and didn't even have a girlfriend. But my student even had a child. It's true that comparing yourself with others will make you angry. Lin Chen is so awesome. Alas, I am indeed getting old. The young people nowadays are so amazing. At this moment, Li Qiusheng was very emotional. Director Li, I have something I want to consult you about. What procedures do I need to follow to apply for a leave of absence? Lin Chen spoke, bringing Li Qiusheng back to reality. You want to drop out of school? Li Qiusheng raised his eyebrows. Lin Chen smiled and said, Yes, the child has just been born, so I don't have the time or energy to go to school. Li Qiusheng nodded after hearing this explanation, indicating that he understood it. My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later. Just write an application and fill out this form. Li Qiusheng took out a form from the drawer and handed it to Lin Chen to fill out. It is common for college students to take a leave of absence, so it is not a big deal. After spending about 10 minutes filling out the leave of absence application form, Lin Chen left the counselor's office. Buzz tilde tilde. At this time, Lin Chen's cell phone vibrated. The call was from Li Ziran. Lin Chen, where are you now? Erbao is in trouble. Hearing this, Lin Chen's face changed drastically, and he quickly asked, What's going on? I don't know either. Erbao's face is very yellow now, and he is very resistant to feeding me. Li Ziran said anxiously. Your face is very yellow. Okay, I got it. I'll be right back. After hanging up the phone, Lin Chen ran to the parking lot and drove the G-Class towards the school gate. At this time, Lin Chen's two roommates happened to come back with takeout. Damn, isn't that Lin Chen? This kid is actually driving a G-Class, am I seeing things? Lin Chen! Lin Chen! Huang Xiong was shouting, but Lin Chen's mind was completely on the baby and he didn't notice at all. 10 minutes later. Lin Chen returned to the rental house. Lin Chen, you are finally back. What's going on with Erbao? Lin Chen quickly came to the bedroom where the baby was. At this moment, the second baby's face looked yellowish. Actually, it was not too yellow, but it was very obvious compared with the other three babies. Lin Chen reached out and touched Erbao's forehead. After finding that there was no fever, he breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, it's not a serious problem. Lin Chen, should we send Erbao to the hospital? Li Ziran asked with a worried look on his face. Chapter 9 Taking care of the baby every day. Lin Chen smiled and shook his head. Erbao, this is physiological jaundice. If it is pathological jaundice, you must be sent to the hospital. Physiological jaundice. Li Ziran was stunned. What kind of disease is this? Is it really not serious? It's not serious. It's physiological jaundice in infants. It's a characteristic of bilirubin metabolism and a normal physiological phenomenon in normal infants during their growth. After hearing Lin Chen's popular science explanation, Li Ziran breathed a sigh of relief. It turns out it's the second baby. This is a normal physiological phenomenon. She was almost scared to death just now. How long will it take for Erbao to recover? Do you need to take medicine? Li Ziran asked. Lin Chen said, physiological jaundice is a natural physiological phenomenon that can disappear on its own. There is no need to treat it or take medicine. Just breastfeed well. Hearing this, Li Ziran completely relaxed. But immediately, Li Ziran looked at Lin Chen with strange eyes. Why do you know so much? Have you studied medicine? No. Lin Chen smiled and said, I checked online in advance. Li Ziran did not question this explanation. After these few days of contact, Li Ziran has already discovered that Lin Chen is better at taking care of children than herself. If he hadn't studied it in advance, Li Ziran couldn't think of any other reason. After all, it's impossible that Lin Chen has really taken care of a child before, right? By the way, have you completed the procedures for taking a leave of absence? Li Ziran asked. Lin Chen smiled and said, it's done. In the next few days, I will stay at home with you to take care of the children. When Li Ziran heard this, he smiled and was very happy. In the next few days, Lin Chen hardly left the rental house except for buying groceries and daily necessities. She has always been by the side of the 4 babies. Change diapers. Put your baby to sleep. Prepare confinement meals for Li Ziran. Do housework. A perfect image of a good man. Under the careful care of Lin Chen and Li Ziran, Erbao's jaundice was completely cured and his skin returned to its normal color. Boom boom boom. Lin Chen was taking care of the baby in the living room when there was a knock on the door. Who is it? Is it Vivian Chow? Lin Chen walked over curiously and opened the door. I saw a fashionably dressed woman standing outside the door. Probably in his early 40s. She is very elegant and looks like a rich person. She still has charm and is well maintained. Who are you? When their eyes met, Lin Chen and Wu Yanfang were both stunned. At this moment, Li Ziran's voice sounded behind him. Mom. Hearing Li Ziran calling the other party mom, Lin Chen was stunned again. She is actually my daughter-in-law's mother. She is too young. No wonder their eyes and brows look somewhat similar. It turns out they are mother and daughter. Hello, auntie. After reacting, Lin Chen smiled slightly and spoke to Wu Yanfang. Then he stepped aside to let Wu Yanfang in. Young man, who are you? Wu Yanfang looked at Lin Chen with a puzzled look. Mom, his name is Lin Chen, and is my friend. Lin Chen was about to speak when Li Ziran spoke first. Oh. Wu Yanfang nodded thoughtfully, and then looked at her daughter. Ziran, have you given birth? Yes. Born a week ago. Li Ziran said somewhat embarrassedly. Hearing this, Wu Yanfang felt extremely regretful. She calculated that Li Ziran might give birth soon. I didn't expect that when I arrived, I was still a few days late. Ziran, can you let me see my grandson? Mom, what are you talking about? Of course you can. Immediately, Li Ziran brought Wu Yanfang to the bedroom. In the bedroom, a baby bed. The 4 babies were lying neatly together, sleeping soundly. Wu Yanfang looked at the babies and felt so excited that she couldn't describe it. This is my precious daughter's child. I am a grandmother now. Ziran, how many boys and girls are there? Wu Yanfang asked. Because they were wearing diapers, she couldn't tell the difference between boys and girls. 3 girls and 1 boy. Li Ziran said, the eldest, second and fourth are girls, and the third is a boy. Chapter 10. The future mother-in-law arrives and the baby spits up milk. Okay. Wu Yanfang smiled so hard that she couldn't close her mouth. Having a son and a daughter is the best. The third child is so lucky, he has 2 older sisters and a younger sister. Hearing this, Li Ziran couldn't help but smile. The man outside should be the child's father, right? Suddenly, Wu Yanfang changed the subject and looked at Li Ziran. Li Ziran was silent. Then he nodded. Yes, he is indeed the father of the child. In order to protect Lin Chen, she originally didn't want to admit it. But now that my mother has seen through it, there is no need to hide it any longer. Little did she know, Wu Yanfang admired him and said, "This guy is quite handsome, and he is a good match for you." Li Ziran was a little surprised that Wu Yanfang would say this. But if you think about it carefully, your mother has always been on your side. The person who holds the strongest opinion is always my father. Ziran, will you blame your mother? Wu Yanfang was moved and said, "Originally, Mom was planning to accompany you during the birth, but you also know that your father. Plus, he has not been in good health recently, and I really can't do anything about him. In short, Mom has her own reasons." "Mom, it's okay. I understand." Li Ziran smiled and asked, "What's wrong with Dad?" "I took him to the hospital for a checkup a few days ago." "It's just an old problem, no big deal," said Wu Yanfang. "That's good." Li Ziran breathed a sigh of relief. "Auntie, please stay here for lunch today. I'm going to buy groceries now." At this time, Lin Chen stood at the door and said something, then took the car keys and went out. "Does he buy groceries and cook?" Wu Yanfang looked at Li Ziran with some surprise. Li Ziran smiled and said, "Yes, I am in confinement now, and he has been taking care of me all the time. He does the shopping, cooking, and even the housework." "Sure." When Wu Yanfang heard this, her favorability towards Lin Chen doubled. An hour later, Lin Chen has already prepared the meal. Sweet and sour pork ribs, hairy crabs, stir-fried bullfrog, tomato egg soup, mushroom chicken. The ingredients are very ordinary, but Lin Chen makes it very sumptuous. It's done so quickly. It smells so good. Wu Yanfang came out of the room and looked at the sumptuous lunch. She was somewhat shocked by Lin Chen's cooking skills. "I originally thought that although Lin Chen could cook, his cooking skills were mediocre and just barely edible. Who knew it would look so exquisite? Just one look at it makes your mouth water and your appetite full." "Ziran, the babies are all asleep, right? You should come out and eat too," Lin Chen said at the door. "Yeah, I'll be right there." Li Ziran put the sleeping debao into the crib, and then they sat down at the dining table together. "Ziran, this is your favorite sweet and sour pork ribs. Auntie, try this mushroom chicken, the meat is very tender." Lin Chen took the initiative to pick up some food for the two of them, trying to liven up the atmosphere. "Millimeter, this is so delicious." Wu Yanfang's eyes lit up, and she swore that this was the most delicious diced chicken she had ever eaten in her life. "It seems that my daughter has found a good man. This cooking skill is even better than mine." In Wu Yanfang's opinion, Lin Chen's appearance and height are already a plus. "I didn't expect he could cook so well." Suddenly, in her mind, Lin Chen gradually formed a perfect image. The most amazing thing is that Lin Chen is so young, only in his early 20s. "Really? Then auntie, eat more." Lin Chen smiled faintly, modest and polite. After dinner, Wu Yanfang stayed for a while and then prepared to leave. "Lin Chen, do you have time during the Mid-Autumn Festival? Bring Ziran over to play with me." Wu Yanfang invited with a smile. Lin Chen couldn't help but be slightly stunned. "This is the rhythm of going to meet my future father-in-law." When Li Ziran heard this, he was extremely happy. Because she knew that her mother's words meant that she approved of Lin Chen. It is undoubtedly a happy thing for her that the man she likes has been recognized by her mother. She looked at Lin Chen with shining eyes, expecting how Lin Chen would answer. Lin Chen smiled and said, "Sure, auntie, I'll bring Ziran to your place to celebrate the Mid-Autumn Festival." "Okay, let's put it this way then." Wu Yanfang smiled and nodded. "Lin Chen, auntie, let me drive you home." "No, I drove here myself." After Wu Yanfang left, the sound of crying was heard again in the bedroom. Li Ziran immediately came to the room and picked up the crying Sibao Lin Yue. I saw Sibao Lin Yue's little mouth opening and closing, and it was obvious that she was hungry. "Don't cry, baby. Mommy will feed you right away." So, Li Ziran lifted up her shirt and started feeding her baby Lin Yue. Looking at Sibao sucking frantically, Li Ziran's eyes softened and a look of maternal satisfaction appeared on her pretty face. Suddenly, Sibao's mouth left the breast milk, and milk kept flowing out of her mouth, as if she was vomiting. Li Ziran had never encountered such a situation before, and she was completely scared. Chapter 11 Father's Love is Like a Mountain, Zhu Huimin arrives. "Lin Chen! Lin Chen!" Li Ziran shouted quickly. What's wrong? Lin Chen, who was drinking water outside, walked in. Then he saw the baby spitting up milk. Lin Chen, the baby is spitting up milk for some reason. Li Ziran said anxiously. Give me the baby. Lin Chen stretched out his hands and took Sibao from Li Ziran's arms. Immediately, Lin Chen was seen gently patting Sibao's back and holding Sibao at a 45-degree angle. Holding the baby in this way allows milk to flow naturally into the body and reduces spitting up. It is normal for babies to spit up because their gastrointestinal function is not yet fully developed. Remember not to feed too frequently, and don't feed too much at once. You can feed the baby some warm water appropriately. Lin Chen taught Li Ziran. Li Ziran nodded, as if he had indeed fed the baby too frequently. Ding! Father's love is as strong as a mountain. Reward the host, God-level painting skills. Suddenly, a system prompt sounded in Lin Chen's mind. God-level painting skills. Lin Chen couldn't help but be slightly stunned, as if no matter what he did, there was a probability of triggering the system reward. Immediately, a stream of knowledge about painting flooded into Lin Chen's mind and was directly absorbed by Lin Chen. In an instant, Lin Chen became the world's top painting master. Whether it is sketching, Chinese painting, gouache, oil painting, watercolor, printmaking, Lin Chen is very proficient in them. At this moment, perhaps due to the influence of the system, Lin Chen felt a strong desire to paint. Ziran, you stay home and look after the kids. I'm going to go out for a while. Lin Chen gently placed Sibao, who had stopped spitting up milk, in Li Ziran's hands and went out. A few minutes later, Lin Chen came back, holding a black bag in his hand, which contained the pens and paper he had just brought downstairs. Lin Chen, what are you buying these things for? Do you want to paint? Lin Chen's actions made Li Ziran very confused. Yeah, I suddenly want to paint. Lin Chen said with a smile. Immediately he spread out the paper on the table and unscrewed the ink bottle. After dipping the brush in ink, Lin Chen's hand holding the brush paused slightly, and then began to paint on the white paper. Li Ziran on the side didn't say anything, just watched Lin Chen paint. The more Li Ziran looked, the more frightened he became. Lin Chen looks so elegant and handsome when he paints, and he has the demeanor of a master painter. Li Ziran originally thought that Lin Chen just drew casually on a whim. I didn't expect it to be so well drawn. I thought it was amazing that Lin Chen could cook and take care of children. I didn't expect he had this trick up his sleeve. Lin Chen, what is this you are painting? A landscape painting. Li Ziran looked at it for a while and asked curiously. Lin Chen smiled and said, yes, it's just an ordinary landscape painting. Not long after, Lin Chen put down his brush, and a vivid and lifelike landscape painting appeared in front of Li Ziran. This is such a great painting. Li Ziran gave Lin Chen a thumbs up and praised him highly. His eyes were full of admiration for Lin Chen. Now, after finishing the painting, Lin Chen's strong desire to paint finally subsided. He looked at the painting in front of him and found it hard to imagine that it was created by his own hand. The system is awesome. Lin Chen was still somewhat confident about his original painting skills, and it would not be an exaggeration to say that they were just scribbles. But now I'm just drawing casually, probably using only 10% of my ability, and the drawing is so good. Lin Chen, you haven't told me why you suddenly want to paint. Li Ziran asked with a smile. She always felt something was weird. Lin Chen explained with a smile, because I haven't painted for a long time, I want to get a feel for it. When the babies grow up, I will teach them to paint. Wait until the babies grow up. Li Ziran rolled his eyes at Lin Chen and joked, it will take a long time for the babies to grow up and learn to draw. However, when Li Ziran imagined the scene of Lin Chen teaching the babies to draw, he felt a little excited. Boom boom boom. At this time, there was another knock on the door. I'll go open it. Li Ziran said something and walked over to open the door. Lin Chen, Ziran, have you had lunch? The person who came was Zhu Huimin. Today she was wearing a JK skirt, a pair of black leather shoes, and lace calf socks. Her legs were very white. I saw that she was holding a beautiful box in her hand. I've eaten it. What is this? A mooncake. Li Ziran asked as she looked at the mooncake box in Zhu Huimin's hand. Yes, isn't Mid-Autumn Festival coming soon? I specially sent you a mooncake. Joey Wang said generously, and then placed the mooncake on the table. Hui minute, thank you, it's great to have you. Li Ziran was very touched. From the time she became pregnant until now, Zhu Weiman had always been helping her and often sent her various food. In Li Ziran's opinion, Joey Wang is simply the best friend in the world. You're welcome, it's just a box of mooncakes. Zhu Weiman looked at Lin Chen, who was packing up his writing brushes, and walked over. Lin Chen, what are you doing? Afterwards, Zhu Weiman noticed the painting drawn by Lin Chen and was stunned. Lin Chen, did you draw this? An incredible look emerged on Zhu Weiman's pretty face. Her grandfather is a famous painter in China. From childhood to adulthood, Zhu Weiman has been exposed to painting. My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later. Because her grandfather is a painter, Joey Wang has followed her grandfather since she was a child and participated in countless art exhibitions. Although Vivian Chow can't draw, under the influence of her grandfather, she has a strong appreciation of paintings. Yes, I drew it. What's wrong? Lin Chen said with a smile. Zhu Weiman was shocked and said, Lin Chen, you draw so well. If this painting were put on the market, it would be worth at least 1 million. 1 million? Hui minute, are you kidding me? Li Ziran was a little bit unbelievable, but to be honest, she also thought that Lin Chen's painting was very good. If it is really worth 1 million, then Lin Chen is so amazing. Ziran, I really didn't lie to you. Have you forgotten that my grandfather is a painter? I have participated in many art exhibitions, and in my opinion, many paintings are not as good as Lin Chen's painting. But it is worth at least hundreds of thousands, so in my opinion, Lin Chen's painting is worth at least 1 million. Hearing this, Lin Chen on the side was a little surprised. I didn't expect that Vivian Chow is such a connoisseur of goods. Although this was just a casual drawing, I only used about 30% of my skills. But as she said, 1 million is more than enough. This is without the bonus of title. If Lin Chen had the title of Master of Traditional Chinese Painting, the value of this painting would be immeasurable. You have a good eye. Is your grandfather a painter? Lin Chen looked at Zhu Weiman and asked. Yes. At this time, Zhu Weiman suddenly thought of something and said to Lin Chen in a pleading tone, Lin Chen, I want you to do me a favor, okay? Chapter 12 Being a Scumbag, Driving a G-Class. My roommate is crying with envy. Help. What help? Lin Chen was curious. Li Ziran also stared at Zhu Weiman curiously. Zhu Weiman said a little embarrassedly, it's almost Mid-Autumn Festival. I want to prepare a Mid-Autumn Festival gift for my grandfather. He likes painting. If I give him a good painting, he will definitely be very happy. Zhu Weiman said with a smile. After hearing this, Lin Chen and Li Ziran immediately understood. Okay, tell me what kind of work your grandfather likes and I'll draw one for you to give to him. Lin Chen agreed without hesitation. After all, she is his wife's best friend. Fortunately, she took care of Li Ziran when I was away. Can you copy? I want you to help me copy a painting of spring trees and autumn frost by Tang Bohu. As she spoke, Zhu Weiman searched for a picture on the internet and handed it to Lin Chen to see. It is this picture of spring trees and autumn frost. My grandfather's favorite is Tang Bohu's work. Okay, I'll copy one for you. Lin Chen took a look and said that this was not a problem. Really? Thank you, Lin Chen. Zhu Weiman was very happy. I won't let you help me for nothing. After the painting is finished, you will be paid tilde. She is a small wealthy woman. If Lin Chen really helps her paint the picture, she will definitely repay Lin Chen. Forget about the payment. Come to my place and pick it up 2 days before the Mid-Autumn Festival. Lin Chen smiled. Okay. Zhu Weiman nodded. Next, Joey Wang followed Li Ziran to the bedroom to see the child. After seeing the child, Vivian Chow left. Lin Chen, come and take a look, this washing machine seems to be broken. At this time, Li Ziran was standing in front of the washing machine with a stack of clothes. Lin Chen walked over to check it and found that it couldn't be started no matter what he did. It was really broken. Lin Chen, why don't I call the technician to come and repair it? Li Ziran said. Lin Chen shook his head, forget it, there is no need to repair it, let's move to the new house. New home? Where's the new home? Li Ziran was slightly stunned and asked. I have a villa on the Bund in Shanghai, which has been idle for a long time. Now is a good time for us to move in. Lin Chen smiled. R. Don't, villa. Li Ziran was shocked. A villa on the Bund in Shanghai? It would cost at least tens of millions per building. Where did Lin Chen get the money to buy a villa? It couldn't be that his family bought it for him, right? Li Ziran remembered that when he talked with Lin Chen a few nights ago, Lin Chen said that he was an orphan. Then it is absolutely impossible that it was bought by his family. Li Ziran realized once again that he knew nothing about Lin Chen's financial strength. Just when he was about to ask Lin Chen made a phone call. Xiangzi, are you free this afternoon? Yes, what's wrong? Wang Qiang was extremely surprised. Lin Chen actually contacted him on his own initiative. Lin Chen smiled and said, then come over this afternoon and help me move. Afternoon. Wang Qiang found a rental house according to the address given by Lin Chen. Lin Chen, it seems your classmate is here. Li Ziran heard a knock on the door and immediately went to open it. Hello, sister-in-law. As soon as the door opened, Wang Qiang gave Li Ziran a silly smile and was at the same time amazed by Li Ziran's beauty. This is so beautiful. I look much better in person than in the video, mainly because I'm so charming. That noble and beautiful temperament made Wang Qiang dare not look Li Ziran in the eye. Oh my god. Can you also give me such a beautiful daughter-in-law? Xiangzi, you're here, come and help me move things. Lin Chen shouted at Wang Qiang, and Wang Qiang immediately reacted and went over to help. In fact, there weren't a lot of things to move, but Lin Chen certainly couldn't do it all by himself because Li Ziran had to take care of 4 babies. Brother Chen, you are so fucking awesome. Wang Qiang looked at the 4 babies in the bedroom and gave Lin Chen a thumbs up. I believe you can do it. What if you have quintuplets in the future? Lin Chen said with a smile. Wang Qiang curled his lips and said, forget it. I'm from Zhejiang. Do you know how high the bride price is here? With so many children, I won't be able to afford the bride price in the future. I also need to buy a house and a car. It's okay to have 1 son, but if I have 2 or 3, I'm afraid I'll have to borrow money to help my sons get married. Lin Chen said helplessly, can you be more promising? Who knows what will happen in the future? What if you become rich? That's true, har har. The two chatted while sorting their things. Soon everything was packed up, and at this time Li Ziran asked, Lin Chen, how do we get there? 1 trip doesn't seem to be enough. Lin Chen nodded and said, let's move the things over first, and then we'll come back to pick you and the babies up. Okay. Then drive carefully. Li Ziran warned. Soon, Lin Chen and Wang Qiang went out carrying large and small bags. Because there are a lot of things. The two even mentioned it several times. Brother Chen, this G-Class is really yours. I thought I saw you when you came to school that day. Sitting in the passenger seat of the G-Class, Wang Qiang kept looking at the interior with envy in his eyes. People on the internet say that if you want to be a scumbag, drive a G-Class. If only I had a G-Class, then I would still be worried about not having girls. This chapter is not finished yet, please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. But even though he was envious, he still recognized the reality. I studied physical education at a normal school, and there is a high probability that I will become a high school physical education teacher after graduation, earning a few thousand yuan a month, and then just wait for death. As for this kind of luxury car, I'm afraid I will never have the chance to own one in this lifetime. Fasten your seatbelts. Lin Chen smiled slightly and started the car. Wang Qiang fastened his seatbelt and said with a sly smile, Brother Chen, the rear seat space of the G-Class is so large, do you and your sister-in-law have it? Looking at the meaningful smile on Wang Qiang's face, Lin Chen knew what this guy was thinking. No. What a pity that such a spacious back seat space is not utilized. Lin Chen had an idea and thought that maybe he could give it a try with Li Ziran after she finished her confinement. The Bund in Magic City, villa area. Young Master Liu brought us to see the villa. Is he planning to buy one? I'm so jealous. I'm so busy trying to find a job after graduation. Even if I find a job, the maximum I can make during the internship is 4,000 to 5,000 yuan a month. I didn't expect young Master Liu to actually be planning to buy a villa. Sigh, the gap between us and young Master Liu will probably get bigger and bigger in the future. That's right. Young Master Liu, if you have a way to make a fortune in the future, ask your old classmate to help you and guide us. A group of young people, probably about to graduate from college, kept fawning over a rich second-generation man. This rich second generation is Liu Bo. He had a reunion with his old classmates today. After the reunion, Liu Bo remembered that he had a gate card to the Bund Villa area. So I thought about bringing my classmates here for a walk. Of course, having a gate card to the villa area doesn't mean he owns a villa here. In fact, the villas here cost at least 50 million each. His family simply can't afford it. He got this gate card by other means. He said he was here for a walk, but in fact he just wanted to show off. Chapter 13, Moving to a new home. Lin Chen was ridiculed by the crowd, and the gate of the villa was opened. Don't worry, if there is a way to make money in the future, I will definitely take you there. Liu Bo laughed with great pride. Liu Bo, do you really want to buy a villa? Wang Bingbing on the side spoke up. Liu Bo smiled awkwardly. Of course not, the villas here are at least more than 50 million, and the number 9 villa is worth more than 100 million. How can I afford a villa here? I just brought everyone here for a walk. It's boring anyway, right? Upon hearing this, several old classmates began to flatter him again. Mr. Liu, you are too modest. I see. Young Master Liu must have come to see the house in advance. If he doesn't buy it now, he will definitely buy it later. That's right. Young Master Liu can't afford the villa here? How is that possible? I won't believe it even if you kill me. Liu Bo was very happy and satisfied after hearing his old classmate flatter him. We've almost finished shopping, how about we go out for coffee? Just then, Wang Bingbing on the side suggested. Everyone nodded and agreed with Wang Bingbing's idea. Indeed, no matter how beautiful or good the villa is, it belongs to someone else. There's no point in going on any further. Just as they were walking back, Lin Chen and Huang Qiong came over carrying things. Lin Chen. Wang Bingbing was extremely surprised. She didn't expect to meet Lin Chen here again. Lin Chen was also very surprised and couldn't help but sigh that the world is really small. I met this couple again. Lin Chen, you need the villa's gate card to get in, right? How did you get in? Wang Bingbing asked curiously. Liu Bo on the side was also a little surprised. How did Lin Chen get in? You're kidding. Brother Chen lives here. Do we need to sneak in? Wang Qiong sneered. Jiangzi, don't pay attention to them, let's go. Lin Chen said something and walked past Liu Bo and his group. Watching the two people leaving. Liu Bo couldn't believe it. Did I hear it right? This guy said he lives here. Of course you're just bragging. Wang Bingbing looked unconvinced. A villa here costs at least 50 million yuan. Liu Bo's family can't afford to buy a villa here. Lin Chen is an orphan, how could he possibly afford it? Why don't we go over and take a look? That's right. Let's go over and see if he's just bragging or not. Old classmate Liu Bo suggested. Liu Bo nodded. Okay, let's go and take a look together. Because Wang Bingbing is Lin Chen's ex-girlfriend, Liu Bo has been unhappy with Lin Chen for a long time. If he gets the chance, he will definitely humiliate Lin Chen. Next, Liu Bo and his group followed Lin Chen quietly from behind. Not long. Villa number 9. When Liu Bo saw Lin Chen actually came to villa number 9, he was dumbfounded. This is the most expensive villa in the villa area. Other villas cost at most 50 or 60 million each. Only villa number 9 is worth over 100 million. Brother Chen, they are following us. Huang Qiong noticed someone behind him and quickly reminded him. Hearing this, Lin Chen turned around, stared at Liu Bo and the others, frowned and said, Why are you following us? Lin Chen, how long are you going to keep pretending? Wang Bingbing said speechlessly, Do you know how much villa number 9 is worth? Don't tell me you bought this villa. Good fellow, are you really not afraid of being scolded? Liu Bo mocked, when the owner of the house comes out and sees you two sneaking around, he might think you're stealing something. Har har har. On the side, Liu Bo's old classmates burst into laughter. It's very interesting. You guys, is there a possibility that they are just here to record the video? It doesn't feel impossible. Record a video and post it to your Moments or other social media apps. Let others mistakenly think that the villa belongs to them, so as to satisfy their vanity. Don't mention it, they really did this kind of thing. Especially for picking up girls, when girls see that you live in a villa, they will come to you obediently. These people must be mentally ill. Huang Qiong complained that he knew Wang Bingbing, but he didn't expect that this woman would become so disgusting. Leave them alone. As he spoke, Lin Chen took out the villa key issued by the system from his pocket. Seeing Lin Chen actually took out the key, Liu Bo and others' faces suddenly froze. A thought came to my mind: could this villa really belong to this guy? Lin Chen inserted the key into the door lock and turned it slightly, but suddenly felt something was wrong. Not this key. So Lin Chen quickly pulled out the key. Seeing that Lin Chen did not open the door, Wang Bingbing and others burst into laughter. I told you, how could this villa belong to someone who is so stingy when it comes to love? I'm so scared, this guy makes it look so real. Brother, come out quickly. If you break someone's lock, I won't be able to pay for it even if I sell you off. Yeah, stop pretending. I'm embarrassed for you. Even Liu Bo's old classmates couldn't help but start to persuade him. Brother Chen, what's going on? Huang Qiang was slightly stunned when he saw Lin Chen pulling out the key. It's okay, I just got the wrong key. I'll change it. Because this was Lin Chen's first time here, and the system gave him many keys. Lin Chen didn't know which key was needed to open the door. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. And naturally, the first attempt was wrong. Try this one. Lin Chen changed the key and inserted it into the lock of the door. It still didn't open. This one isn't either. Lin Chen continued to change to the next one. I saw that Lin Chen didn't open the door twice. Wang Bingbing felt that he was completely hopeless. How pathetic. For some reason, Wang Bingbing suddenly felt some pity for Lin Chen. Just because he wanted to show off in front of me and didn't want to lose to Liu Bo, he ended up playing this kind of self-deceiving trick. This guy is totally hopeless. The villa is not yours. You can't open the door even if you try it 10,000 times. Hey, let's go. What if this guy breaks the lock and others misunderstand us as his accomplices? How funny. Could this guy be a fool? Liu Bo and his old classmates all laughed. Obviously, they all didn't believe that the owner of the villa was Lin Chen. If Lin Chen is really the owner of the villa, how could he not even know which key is which? At this moment, even Huang Qiang looked a little embarrassed. What's going on? Could it be that this villa really doesn't belong to Lin Chen? But Huang Qiang soon shook his head. He believed that Lin Chen was not that kind of person. At this time, Lin Chen had already changed to the fourth key. Drive slowly, we are leaving. Har har har, I wish you could open someone else's door. It's so funny. I've never seen anything this weird. Liu Bo and his group laughed and made sarcastic remarks, then turned and left. But, at this moment, with a click, the gate of the villa is open. Chapter 14. Friend, Ziran, your husband is so handsome. At this moment, Liu Bo, Wang Bingbing and others only felt a loud bang in their brains. They all turned around and looked at the door of the villa that was opened by Lin Chen, and they couldn't help but tremble in their hearts. Open, open. The villa is actually his. The most emotional person at this moment was undoubtedly Wang Bingbing. She broke up with Lin Chen because she disliked his poverty and turned to Liu Bo's arms. But it's only been a week since I broke up with Lin Chen. First it was the Mercedes-Benz G-Class, and now it's the Bund villa. How could a person change so much in just a few days? How is this possible? Could it be that the poverty in the past was all acted out? Liu Bo's face at this moment was as ugly as if he had eaten feces. The clown is actually me. Several other old classmates of Liu Bo who were laughing at Lin Chen felt as if their necks were choked and they were unable to speak. Is this the Bund villa? Isn't this too luxurious? Follow Lin Chen into the villa hall. Huang Qiang was like a curious baby, constantly looking around. He never expected that the villa hall could be so luxurious. It is really poverty that limits my imagination. Brother Chen, it must cost a lot of money to buy such a luxurious villa, right? Huang Qiang asked. Yes. Lin Chen nodded. Of course he couldn't say it was a reward from the system. Next, the two put down their things and went out. When they came outside, Liu Bo, Wang Bingbing and others had already left in shame. Let me take you back to school. Thank you for your hard work. Lin Chen patted Huang Qiang on the shoulder and said with a smile. Huang Qiang chuckled and said, it's not hard. There's nothing hard about it. Brother Chen, you and sister-in-law shouldn't have had your wedding banquet yet, right? Not yet, what's wrong? Huang Qiang smiled and said, when we set a date for the wedding, you must treat me to a drinking party. Don't worry, I will definitely treat you. You just need to prepare the money for the meal. Lin Chen said with a smile. Next, the two talked and laughed all the way, and Lin Chen drove Wang Qiong back to school. After sending him to school, Lin Chen drove back to the rental house to pick up Li Ziran and the baby. Ziran, is he your husband? Seeing Lin Chen coming back, a very pretty girl with a bun asked Li Ziran in surprise. Yes. Li Ziran smiled and nodded. This is so cool. There seemed to be stars twinkling in Luo Yuting's eyes. She had many friends, and Li Ziran was just one of them. However, the boyfriends of the girls around her are not very good looking. So she often feels that men are not worthy of her friends. But Lin Chen is the only one she has seen so far whose appearance is on the same level as the woman. The two of them really look like a couple, they are so well matched. Ziran, your husband is very handsome. Luo Yuting praised Lin Chen directly in front of him. Li Ziran was very happy to hear the praise from her good friend. Ziran, take good care of yourself during the confinement period. I'll come and play with you after you're done. Luo Yuting stood up and said, I won't disturb you guys from moving. I'll go back first. Good. Watching Luo Yuting walk past him, Lin Chen smiled politely, and Luo Yuting also smiled in response. Ziran, is she your friend? After closing the door, Lin Chen asked Li Ziran. Li Ziran said, yes, my friend from college knew that I had given birth and came to see me specially. Lin Chen nodded and changed the subject, all the things have been taken over there, let's go over there now. But how do we take for babies with us? Li Ziran looked embarrassed. If we carry them down one by one, then someone must be here to watch over them. But once the baby is carried into the car, someone must stay with the baby inside. Although it should be fine to leave your baby alone in the car for a short period of time. But what if? What if there are human traffickers? In short, the baby is still so young, we must not be careless. Li Ziran felt a little helpless at this time. If he had known earlier, he would have asked Luo Yuting to stay and help, so that there would be just enough manpower. That's easy. Can't we just bring the stroller over as well? Lin Chen spoke. That's fine too. Li Ziran thought about it and felt that Lin Chen's method was feasible. Immediately afterwards, Li Ziran pushed the 4 babies out of the room. Lin Chen negotiated with the landlord, and after the landlord came to check the house, he found that there was no damage. So I agreed to cancel the lease. He also returned the deposit to Lin Chen. Although Lin Chen has a lot of money now, he won't waste it to the point of not even taking a deposit of several thousand yuan. Be gentle and don't wake the baby. No. Lin Chen gently placed the babies one by one on the baby mats in the back row. The baby mat is very soft. Even softer than lying on the sofa bed. After the baby lay down, he was not awakened by discomfort. But suddenly. Wow! The second child, Lin Chen, finally woke up and started crying loudly. There's nothing you can do about it. That's how babies are. Even if they fall asleep, they may wake up at any time and anywhere. Baby, don't cry tilde. Mom is taking you to your new home, don't cry tilde. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Li Ziran held the second baby in her arms and coaxed him softly. Lin Chen folded the stroller because it was one of the 4-piece set rewarded by the system and it had a foldable function. After folding it, Lin Chen put the stroller into the trunk. Soon, Lin Chen came to the driver's seat. At this moment, under Li Ziran's patient comfort, the second baby Lin Chen fell asleep again. Let's go to our new home. Magic City, Bund Villa. When he was brought here, even though he was mentally prepared, Li Ziran was still very surprised. Lin Chen, I have a question that I have wanted to ask you for a long time. Li Ziran asked weakly, where did you get so much money to buy a G-Class and a villa? When Lin Chen heard Li Ziran ask this, he was not surprised at all. She knew that Li Ziran would ask this sooner or later. If I say that the villa and the G-Class were given to me by someone else, would you believe me? Lin Chen asked with a smile. I believe it. Li Ziran said affirmatively that she believed Lin Chen would not lie to her. Oh, why don't you play by the rules? Then tell me, who gave it to you? Li Ziran joked, isn't it some rich woman? Have you ever been kept by a rich woman before? Hearing this, Lin Chen's face suddenly turned black. Of course not. If she was kept by someone, it would definitely be a rich woman like you. I'm not a rich woman. Li Ziran rolled his eyes at Lin Chen, feeling a little apologetic. His family didn't know how much property they had, but they still had tens of millions. Strictly speaking, she should be considered a small wealthy woman, right? Okay, let's be serious. Actually, my money is earned by investing. Lin Chen evaded the question without blushing or beating his heart. There is no way. I can't confess the existence of the system, right? Invest. When Li Ziran heard this reason, she was a little surprised, but she did not question it. After all, she couldn't think of any other reason. It can't be like pie falling from the sky, right? Anyway, the money was earned by Lin Chen himself. Thinking of this, Li Ziran looked towards Lin Chen with eyes filled with deep admiration. She discovered another shining point in Lin Chen. At this moment, Li Ziran felt that she was so lucky. Chapter 15: The Use of Daddy Value. In the next few days, Lin Chen and Li Ziran stayed in the villa, taking care of the 4 babies. Before I knew it, my baby is already 10 days old. Congratulations to their host on taking care of the baby for the 10th day, your nanny value is plus 99. Congratulations to their host on taking care of the baby for the 10th day, your nanny value is plus 99. Congratulations to their host on taking care of the baby for the 10th day, your nanny value is plus 99. Lin Chen had just changed the baby's diaper when the system's voice suddenly rang in his mind. Lin Chen has become accustomed to the system's occasional reminders. The so-called dad value is the value given by the system to the dad every day he takes care of the baby based on his performance in taking care of the baby that day. The nanny value has great benefits and can be used for lottery draws. System, check my nanny value. Lin Chen communicated with the system. Immediately, an information panel appeared in front of Lin Chen. Host, Lin Chen. Skills, top-notch nanny, God-level cooking skills, God-level medical skills, God-level painting skills. Character relationships, father, mother, fiancé Li Ziran, eldest daughter Lin Qingyu, second daughter Lin Kasan, third son Lin Yi, fourth daughter Lin Yue. Daddy value, 4,396. It is detected that the host's nanny value is enough for 1 lottery. Do you want to start the lottery immediately? Smoke. Lin Chen thought in his mind. Congratulations on winning the antique night pearl. Then, an emerald green, potato-sized bead appeared in Lin Chen's hand. At first glance, the bead seems ordinary. But if you hold it close and look at it carefully, you can clearly feel the wonder of this night pearl. My goodness, could this be the pearl that Empress Dowager Cixi held in her mouth before she died? Lin Chen thought so. Then, he stored the night pearl in the system backpack. The night shining pearl is precious, but unfortunately it is of no use to him at the moment. Ziran, aren't you home now? Outside the house, Li Ziran suddenly received a call from Zhu Huimin. Huimin. I forgot to tell you that I have moved now. Moving? Where did you move to? Are you coming over now? Then I'll send you the address. After saying that, Li Ziran sent his current residential address to Vivian Chow. Lin Chen, Zhu Huimin will be here soon. Seeing Lin Chen coming out of the house, Li Ziran hurriedly said. Okay, speaking of Vivian Chow, I suddenly remembered the painting I promised to give her, but I haven't started painting it yet. Lin Chen said. Soon, Vivian Chow followed Li Ziran's address and arrived at the Bund Villa area. Because there was no gate card, Lin Chen went to the door to wait for her in person. Lin Chen, you really live here? Zhu Huimin thought her navigation was wrong until she saw Lin Chen at the door. Yes. Lin Chen said with a smile. Wow, I've seen the villas here before, but I thought they were a bit expensive, so I didn't buy one. Lin Chen, you are really rich. Zhu Huimin exclaimed. Of course, she didn't directly ask Lin Chen where he got so much money, because that would show her low emotional intelligence. Nothing, just a villa. Lin Chen said with a smile. Then Lin Chen brought Zhu Huimin home. As soon as she got home, Li Ziran said to Lin Chen helplessly, Lin Chen, there are no diapers at home. Let's go buy some next time. Next time? Why don't we go now? Zhu Huimin is here just in time, we can ask her to help us look after the child temporarily. Lin Chen said. Vivian Chow? Good job. When I first arrived, I was asked to take care of the baby. Isn't this just Chun Chun treating me as a tool? Haven't you been out for a long time? Do you really want to go out for some fresh air? Lin Chen looked at Li Ziran and said. Li Ziran nodded and said, yes, but I'm still in confinement after childbirth. Can I go out? Of course. Lin Chen said, generally, the body will recover about 10 days after giving birth. If the weather is warm, it is completely fine to go out, as long as you don't catch a cold. But now is the season for short sleeve wear, so catching a cold is almost impossible. After hearing this, Li Ziran's desire to go out became even stronger. She said to Zhu Weiman, can you look after the baby here? We'll be out for a while and we'll be back in 20 minutes at most. But if you leave, what if the baby wakes up and wants to drink milk? What if he cries and asks mom to comfort him? Joey Wang doesn't mind taking care of children, but she gets a headache when she thinks about this issue. I just finished feeding them. They just fell asleep and won't wake up so soon. Li Ziran said. Okay, then I'll help you take care of the baby, but you guys should come back early. Zhu Weiman said. Don't worry, we will. Afterwards, Li Ziran changed her clothes and went out with Lin Chen. A few minutes later. Runda Shopping Center. When Lin Chen and Li Ziran appeared in the mall, they immediately attracted the attention of many passers-by. There's nothing I can do about it. This is what it's like to be good-looking. No matter where you go, you'll be the focus. It's hard to keep a low profile. Little brother, little brother. Suddenly, an outdoor female anchor caught up with Lin Chen from behind. What? Lin Chen turned around and saw the female anchor holding a microphone, seemingly wanting to interview him. Little brother, can I take a minute of your time to ask you a few questions? The female anchor spoke, her eyes fixed on Lin Chen, then looked at Li Ziran beside her, and was amazed by their looks. My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later. Interviewing such a good-looking couple, the video will definitely get a lot of hits. This. Lin Chen was about to refuse, but Li Ziran asked, what question do you want to ask? At that moment, the female anchor was not polite. Excuse me, are you willing to add your girlfriend's name to your property certificate in the future? The female anchor started the interview and looked at Lin Chen expectantly. We are married. After saying that, Lin Chen took Li Ziran's hand and walked inside. The remaining female anchor looked confused. Did I hear that correctly? Such a young and handsome guy is already married? Marry young. Lin Chen, when did we get married? Li Ziran gave Lin Chen a cold look, but couldn't hide the smile on his face. We have 4 children now. In my mind, we are already married. Lin Chen smiled and said, could it be that you don't want to marry me? Of course I do. Li Ziran hugged Lin Chen's arm and tilted her head to look at him, but we haven't got the marriage certificate yet. It's a small matter. Let's pick a meaningful day and go get the certificate. Lin Chen promised Li Ziran. Okay. It can be seen that Li Ziran is very happy at this moment. Before they knew it, they arrived at the shopping hall. Diapers are over there. Li Ziran pointed in a direction and then pulled Lin Chen towards that direction. Hello, do you want to buy diapers? The salesgirl greeted me politely. Lin Chen looked at the shelves, then picked up a brand and asked, how much does this brand cost? This is a foreign brand, relatively speaking it's a bit more expensive, 78 yuan a pack. The female shopping guide introduced, however, this one comes in a pack of 40 pieces, which is 10 more than the usual brands. Hearing this, Lin Chen nodded. Then Lin Chen said, okay, then give me 100 packs. After hearing what Lin Chen said, the female shopping guide was stunned. Chapter 16 Buying a bag for Li Ziran. Did I hear you correctly? You want to buy 100 bags? The female shopping guide couldn't believe it and asked Lin Chen for confirmation again. Lin Chen smiled and said, right, there won't be so much stock, right? Lin Chen, are you buying too much? At the side, Li Ziran held Lin Chen's arm and asked weakly. Lin Chen smiled and said, just stock up at home so you don't have to go out to buy them so often in the future. Then we don't have to buy 100 packs at once, isn't that too much? Li Ziran said. Lin Chen said, no, you can calculate it yourself. There are 40 tablets in a pack, and a baby needs about 10 tablets a day. For 4 babies, the daily consumption is about 40 tablets. That means 1 pack of diapers is only enough for babies for 1 day. 100 packs of diapers may seem like a lot, but they are only enough for 3 months. After hearing Lin Chen's analysis, Li Ziran felt it made sense. Yes, stock up at home so you don't have to go out to buy them often. And unlike milk, diapers don't have a short shelf life. They have a very long shelf life. Hello, then give us 100 packs. Li Ziran said to the female shopping guide with a smile. Are you serious? The female shopping guide still thought the two were joking, mainly because 100 bags was too much, and it felt like they were purchasing stock. Really? Because we have 4 children, the daily consumption of diapers is very high. Li Ziran smiled helplessly. 4 children? Oh my goodness. The female shopping guide was really surprised. This beautiful woman in front of me looks younger than me, but she already has 4 children. And how old were you when you became a mother? Moreover, Li Ziran's figure can be described as perfect. There is no deformation at all. How does she look like a woman who has given birth? Okay, please follow me here to pay. The female shopping guide came to her senses and smiled slightly. Immediately, Lin Chen followed the female shopping guide to the counter and prepared to pay. Sir, the total is 8,000 yuan. Because your consumption this time is over 5,000, you will be automatically upgraded to a VIP member of our store. Next time you come to the store to buy things, you will enjoy a 30% discount. The female shopping guide said with a smile. Okay. Lin Chen nodded, then he presented his payment code, and with a beep, the payment was successful. What he lacked the least now was money. Just 8,000 yuan did not make Lin Chen feel any ripple at all. After paying, Lin Chen realized another problem and asked the female shopping guide, it should be possible to deliver to your door, right? Sure, sir. Please leave us your address and I will arrange for someone to deliver it to you this afternoon, said the female shopping guide. Okay. Lin Chen left an address for the other party and then left with Li Ziran. There are few luxury stores over there, do you want to go take a look? Lin Chen held Li Ziran's hand, looked at her face and asked. Lin Chen was thinking that since he had finally brought his wife out for a trip, he had to buy her something. Besides, what he has now is money. A luxury store. Li Ziran looked at the shops not far away. Some were selling bags, some were selling cosmetics, and some were selling necklaces. However, Li Ziran shook her head and said with a smile, forget it. I just gave birth to a child, so I don't need these luxury goods. In fact, even if she could use them, Li Ziran is not interested in those luxury goods. She is a girl who is not very materialistic. Although her family conditions are very good, Li Ziran is different from those socialites. She never pursues luxuries out of vanity. It's okay. If you don't need it now, you may need it in the future. Having said that, Lin Chen did not give Li Ziran a chance to refuse. He took her hand and walked into a shop selling bags. Hello, welcome. Several beautiful female shopping guides immediately came forward to greet them, all in uniforms and with beautiful black stockings. Ziran, take your pick. Just tell me which bag you like. Lin Chen said with great wealth. Li Ziran had no choice but to listen to Lin Chen and start choosing from among the many brand bags. However, those extremely expensive bags, costing hundreds of thousands each, were simply ignored by her. In Li Ziran's opinion, those bags that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars each are just a waste of money. And there is no need to buy such an expensive bag. Li Ziran just wanted to buy one worth a few $1,000s. But after walking around the store, I found that the cheapest bag cost tens of thousands of yuan each. Beauty, this is the latest model from the Chanel series. I think it suits your temperament very well. This latest LV model is also very suitable for you. I have been working here for 2 years, and this is the first time I have seen such a stylish customer like you. At the same time, the female shopping guide was also promoting the product to Li Ziran. While selling the product, he praised Li Ziran for her beauty, which made Li Ziran a little shy. Lin Chen, which of these 3 bags do you think is more suitable for me? After selecting for a while, Li Ziran carried 3 bags and asked Lin Chen. I think they all look good. Lin Chen was telling the truth. Li Ziran is so beautiful. A good-looking person will still look good even if she is carrying a torn sack. No, you must say one. If you like them, buy them all. Lin Chen smiled faintly, and his ostentatious words made several beautiful shopping guides dumbfounded. Please help me pack these 3 bags and see how much they cost. Lin Chen said to the female shopping guides. My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later. This. Just as Li Ziran reacted, the bag in her hand had been taken away by the shopping guide for checkout. Hello, a total of 150,000. Ding. Payment successful. Let's go. After paying the money, Lin Chen picked up his bag, took the hand of the somewhat confused Li Ziran, and walked out of the store. Looking at the backs of the two people leaving, the eyes of the female shopping guides were all filled with envy. Oh my god. Can we also have a boyfriend like this? This handsome guy is too good to his girlfriend. I almost cried with envy. Who told me that handsome and rich men are all scumbags? Being loved is like winning the lottery. I envy that girl so much. Woo woo woo, I'm so envious too. Hey, tell me, why can't we meet such a man? Immediately, several female shopping guides all became a little depressed. Li Ziran didn't expect that Lin Chen would buy all 3 bags without saying a word. I should have taken a bag earlier. However, although feeling a little helpless, Li Ziran still felt very happy in her heart. High heels, do you want to buy them? Lin Chen spoke. No, I have lots of high heels. Then wear it for me next time. Let's talk about it after the confinement period. Li Ziran gave Lin Chen a blank look, knowing what he was thinking. However, because she loves Lin Chen very much, she is willing to cooperate and obey. Let's go back now, the baby will wake up soon. Li Ziran said. Lin Chen nodded, well. Let's go back. Chapter 17. Preparing to give the night pearl to my father-in-law. The Bund Villa. When Lin Chen and Li Ziran came back, as expected, the baby had woken up. The eldest, Lin Qingyu, and the third, Lin Yi, woke up, but the remaining 2 were still sleeping soundly. Woo woo, you guys are finally back. If you hadn't come back, I would have called you to urge you to come back. At this moment, Joey Wang was in a state of panic. Both babies woke up at the same time, and she had no experience in taking care of babies, so it was really stressful for her. Come, let daddy hug you. Lin Chen quickly picked up the crying Sanbao and coaxed him softly. He must be hungry, Guiman. Thank you for your hard work. After Li Ziran finished speaking, she lifted up her shirt and started feeding Dabao. It's okay, it's okay. By the way, Lin Chen, have you finished the painting I want? Zhu Huimin looked at Lin Chen and asked. Not yet. Are you in a hurry? No, Mid-Autumn Festival is coming in 3 days. Then I'll draw it for you tomorrow and you can come get it tomorrow. Lin Chen said that it was just a copy of a painting and there was no need to waste too much of his time. Okay. After getting the exact time, Joey Wang felt relieved. Then I'll come back tomorrow. Hui minute, don't you want to stay for lunch? Seeing Zhu Huimin was about to leave, Li Ziran quickly stopped her. No, I have something to do when I get back to school. Okay, then take your time. After Zhu Huimin left, Li Ziran suddenly remembered something. She looked at Lin Chen and asked, Lin Chen, does what you promised my mother still count? What's the matter? Lin Chen asked. Just come to my house to celebrate Mid-Autumn Festival. Li Ziran said. Lin Chen was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, of course it counts. Come to think of it, I haven't met your father yet. To be honest, he was also a little curious about what his father-in-law looked like. Hey, my dad has a bad temper. Li Ziran said, to be honest, I'm a little afraid to go back. Immediately, Lin Chen suddenly remembered something Zhu Huimin had told him. Because Li Ziran got pregnant unexpectedly. Li Ziran's father almost severed the father-daughter relationship with her. I guess this is why Li Ziran said he didn't dare to go back. It's okay. I'm here, your father won't do anything to you. Lin Chen comforted. Puff. Li Ziran was amused. I'm not worried about myself, I'm worried about you, a fool. Worry about me. Then Lin Chen suddenly realized that the reason why Li Ziran got pregnant unexpectedly was because of him. To put it bluntly, isn't it just what you did? So put yourself in their shoes. The attitude of this future father-in-law towards me was undoubtedly bad. Thinking of this, Lin Chen became thoughtful. What's wrong? Are you scared? Want to retreat? Seeing Lin Chen remain silent, Li Ziran made a joke. No, what am I afraid of? Lin Chen said, no matter what, I am also the father of 4 babies and his future son-in-law. I believe he won't do anything to me. Lin Chen said optimistically. I hope so. After Li Ziran finished speaking, he thought of something else. However, since you are planning to spend the Mid-Autumn Festival at my house, shouldn't we prepare some gifts to bring back? Lin Chen nodded and said, this is definitely necessary. How can you go to meet your future father-in-law empty-handed when meeting him for the first time? What's more, it happens to be the Mid-Autumn Festival. It would be unreasonable not to prepare something. What hobbies does your father have? Lin Chen was thinking about giving his future father-in-law a gift and planned to start with his hobbies. Let me think. Li Ziran said, is liking antiques considered a hobby? Antique. Suddenly, Lin Chen thought of the night pearl he had drawn from the system mall. Night shining pearls are also considered antiques. It is also an extremely precious antique, a treasure that Empress Dowager Cixi loved so much during her lifetime. Otherwise, just give the night pearl to your father-in-law. Lin Chen thought so. Okay, leave the gifts to me. The next day, after Lin Chen changed the baby's diaper, he remembered that he had not yet finished the painting he promised Zhu Weiman. Therefore, Lin Chen spent about 10 minutes copying Tang Bohu's Spring Trees and Autumn Frost. Because he has god-level painting skills. The painting copied by Lin Chen is so lifelike. In short, Lin Chen himself was quite satisfied. Not long. The doorbell rang in the villa yard. It's Zhu Weiman. I'm feeding my baby. Can you open the door for her? Li Ziran's voice was heard in the bedroom. Good. Lin Chen knew that Zhu Weiman came to get the painting, so he simply took the painting downstairs. You're here so early. Lin Chen, tomorrow is Mid-Autumn Festival. Have you finished the painting you promised to copy for me? It's finished. Lin Chen handed the painting to Vivian Chow, who immediately opened it and took a look. Wow. That's awesome. Zhu Weiman thought that her grandfather would be very happy when he saw this painting. Lin Chen, thank you. Zhu Weiman looked at Lin Chen with admiration and said gratefully. You're welcome. Lin Chen waved his hand, it's just a painting. Would you like to come in and sit down? No, tomorrow is Mid-Autumn Festival, and I have to pack the painting and send it to my grandfather. Zhu Weiman smiled and said, Lin Chen, I'll come and play with you next time. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Okay. In the Magic City, inside a luxurious villa. The two old men were talking loudly and laughing from time to time. In front of the two of them was a mahogany tea table with 2 teacups on the table emitting steam. Old Zhu, have you heard? Last month, Jiyu Kaiji's painting, Xiaoxiang 2, was identified as an authentic work and sold for a whopping 300 million yuan. Liu Nanru spoke. He wore gold-rimmed glasses and his smile was as bright as a chrysanthemum, giving people a sense of intimacy. Oh? Really? If it's really an authentic work by Jiyu Kaiji, more than 300 million is actually not that much. Zhu Daoji said so. Jiyu Kaiji was a great painter in the Eastern Jin dynasty and an absolute big name in the history of Chinese art. His Admonitions of the Court Instructress and Goddess of the Luo River can be regarded as the pinnacle of figure painting. Yes, but a painting was auctioned for more than 300 million. I'm afraid I will never be able to catch up with such strength in my lifetime. Liu Nanru said with some sadness. He is also a well-known painter in China. The best works were once snatched up by multi-millionaires for tens of millions. However, compared with the unit of 100 million, 10 million is still far behind. Old Zhu, I have high hopes for you in my lifetime. You are expected to become the next Jiyu Kaiji. Liu Nanru took a sip of tea and looked at Zhu Daoji with a smile. Zhu Daoji shook his head and said helplessly, Old Liu, please don't belittle me. I am very aware of my own strength. As soon as he finished speaking, the sound of a door being pushed open was heard outside. A graceful girl walked in with a scroll in her hand. It was Vivian Chow. Grandpa, I'm back. Chapter 18 The Shock of Two Painting Masters. Grandpa Liu, you are here too. As soon as she came in, Zhu Weiman saw Liu Nanru sitting next to her and couldn't help but say hello. Hey, isn't this Weiman? Liu Nanru had known Zhu Weiman for a long time because she often went to play with Zhu Daoji. Weiman, come over and have a cup of tea with Grandpa. Hey, what are you holding in your hand? Seeing that Zhu Weiman was holding something like a scroll in her hand, Zhu Daoji couldn't help feeling confused. Grandpa, this is my Mid-Autumn Festival gift for you. Zhu Huimin smiled sweetly, handed the scroll to Zhu Daoji, and said, "Grandpa, happy Mid-Autumn Festival." Zhu Daoji was stunned for a moment, then he laughed. "Every Mid-Autumn Festival, my precious granddaughter would give me a gift. This year is no exception. Okay. Har har har, Huimin is so thoughtful. Grandpa also wishes you a happy Mid-Autumn Festival." Zhu Daoji reached out to take the painting and was happy. Hui Minute is really sensible and filial. Liu Nanru on the side praised him, saying that he would be lying if he said he was not envious. His granddaughter is not as good as Vivian Chow. After going abroad to study, she has not returned for several years. During festivals or something like that, the most that can be exchanged is a brief greeting. There wasn't even a red envelope. Why? It turns out that there is no harm without comparison. Grandpa, do you want to open it now and take a look? I promise you will like this gift. Zhu Huimin said with a smile. Really? Then open it and take a look. Zhu Daoji said that he was also curious about what gift his granddaughter gave him. Okay. Then, under the gaze of the two, Vivian Chow opened the scroll. A very beautiful picture appeared before their eyes. In the scroll, in a valley with green mountains and splashing springs, two scholars are sitting cross-legged on rocks by the stream, reciting poems and composing essays. The new branches of the dead trees are sprouting tender buds, revealing the breath of spring. At the mouth of the valley there is a spring like a silk thread, which flows into the stream, splashing out with a cold sound. The environment was elegant and the two scholars' lively conversation added a touch of poetic atmosphere. A picture of spring trees and autumn frost. Zhu Daoji and Liu Nanru were deeply shocked. Is this the original painting of spring trees and autumn frost? Liu Nanru's eyes widened and he said in disbelief. Zhu Daoji was also dumbfounded. At first glance, it really looks like the original spring trees and autumn frost. Could this painting really be from Tang Bohu? Zhu Daoji couldn't help but say. Hearing this, Zhu Huimin laughed. Grandpa, this is not Tang Bohu's original work, this is a copy. I asked a friend who can paint to copy. Copy. Hearing these two words, they both breathed a sigh of relief. Scare them. I thought it was a genuine work of Tang Bohu. Oh, this copy is too realistic. If Huimin hadn't reminded me, I really wouldn't have known that this painting was copied. Liu Nanru spoke, his eyes never leaving the scroll. Me too. Which master's work is this imitation from? This imitation is a bit too amazing. Zhu Dao carefully observed the entire painting, and the more he looked, the more shocked he became. This is such a great copy. Without 50 years of Chinese painting experience, it is impossible to copy to this level. I think so too. Hui Minute, what's the name of your friend who copied this painting? How old is he? Zhu Daoji and Liu Nanru looked at Zhu Huimin and said. Well, you may not believe it, but my friend is 22 years old. As for the name, it's Lin Chen, you must have never heard of it. Vivian Chow said truthfully. What? 22 years old. Zhu Daoji and Liu Nanru were dumbfounded. They never expected that the master of Chinese painting they imagined was so young. But on second thought, yes. Vivian Chow is only in her early 20s, how much older can her friends be? At only 22 years old, he can paint to such an extent that it is indistinguishable from the real thing. He is truly a genius in Chinese painting. As expected, he will definitely have a place in the future Chinese painting world. Zhu Daoji and Liu Nanru were amazed. Then, Zhu Daoji asked Zhu Huimin, Huimin, can you introduce your friend to us someday? Zhu Huimin couldn't help but be stunned. Grandpa, are you serious? Of course I'm serious. Zhu Daoji, you also know that I, Grandpa, have no other hobbies in my life except painting. In the entire painting world, the number of people I admire can be counted on one hand. Your friend is not an ordinary person. Grandpa, I want to make friends with him. Zhu Huimin was completely shocked when she heard this. How amazing is Lin Chen's painting? He actually made his grandfather want to make friends with him. Grandpa, it's okay. Zhu Huimin nodded and said, if there is a chance in the future, I can introduce him to you. At this time, Lin Chen and Li Ziran were packing their things because they were about to go to their father-in-law's house. Chapter 19. Have you been sleeping poorly recently? Lin Chen, are you ready for the gift you said you would prepare for my dad? Li Ziran asked. Lin Chen said, of course it's ready, it's in that box. Box? Li Ziran opened it immediately and found the night pearl inside. Is this an antique? Li Ziran asked as he looked at the night pearl. Yes, let me tell you, this pearl is not simple. It was stuffed into Empress Dowager Cixa's mouth before she died, and she was buried with it. Lin Chen smiled faintly. This is too precious. But how come you have the night shining pearl? Li Ziran looked at Lin Chen suspiciously. He knew without thinking that this antique must be priceless. A friend of mine gave it to me. Friend? Male or female? Oh, it should be a boy. Lin Chen remembered the electronic sound of the system, and he couldn't tell whether it was a man or a woman. Should? Okay, then it must be a female. Li Ziran said angrily, looking a little jealous. Lin Chen kissed Li Ziran without saying a word. What should I do if my wife is jealous? No need for any explanation, because any explanation is pale and powerless, just kiss her. More than an hour later, in a townhouse in a certain district of Shanghai. This is Li Ziran's parents' home. At this time, Lin Chen drove his wife and babies here. Wu Yanfang came out to answer the phone, because without a door card, one could not enter the villa. Walking into the villa, Li Ziran looked around the living room and asked Wu Yanfang in surprise, "Is Dad not home?" Wu Yanfang said awkwardly, "Yes, he is in the room." Li Ziran felt very aggrieved when he heard this. He only went home once in such a long time, but his father didn't like him and hid in his room. Wow! At this moment, the second child Lin Chen burst into tears, interrupting Li Ziran's thoughts. Wu Yanfang asked, "What's wrong? Is the child hungry?" Lin Chen glanced at Lin Chen and said, "She's probably not hungry, she's defecated and needs a diaper change." Then Lin Chen picked up Lin Chen to check and found that the diaper was indeed heavy and full. So, Lin Chen quickly took out a new diaper from the bag and changed it for the little guy. The door of Li Qianhong's room was ajar. Through the gap, Li Qianhong just happened to see the whole process of Lin Chen changing his diaper. Li Qianhong thought, "This guy is so skilled at changing diapers, it can be seen that he often helps take care of children. A man who often helps his wife take care of the children is definitely not a bad person." This is the life experience that Li Qianhong has summed up after living for more than 40 years. Not long. Lin Chen changed the diaper, and the second baby, Lin Chen, stopped crying. "Xiao Chen, what do you want to eat for lunch? Mom will buy it for you." Wu Yanfang looked at Lin Chen and said. Lin Chen was stunned because Wu Yanfang called herself not auntie but mom. Lin Chen was immediately very happy. "It doesn't matter to me, I'm not picky about food." Wu Yanfang asked casually with a smile, "Can you eat pig intestines?" "Yes." Lin Chen nodded. "Stir-fried pig intestines are delicious." "Okay, then mom will go out and buy some later." "What other dishes do you like to eat?" Wu Yanfang continued to ask Lin Chen. Although Lin Chen said that he was not picky about food and any dish was fine with him, Wu Yanfang still insisted that Lin Chen tell her what he wanted to eat. She was very considerate of Lin Chen's taste buds, which showed how much she valued Lin Chen. "Then let's have some braised pork and lobster," Lin Chen said helplessly. He felt that his mother-in-law was really nice, but his father-in-law was. Next, Li Ziran and Wu Yanfang went out to buy groceries, and Lin Chen stayed at home to take care of the children. After Li Ziran and Wu Yanfang left, Li Qianhong slowly came out of the room. He glanced at Lin Chen who was sitting on the sofa in the living room and said nothing, still very cold. Lin Chen looked at Li Qianhong, his father-in-law. Although Lin Chen only glanced at him, his expression changed slightly. Because he is now considered a miracle doctor, he discovered that Li Qianhong's health was not very good. So, Lin Chen took the initiative to walk towards Li Qianhong. Li Qianhong was making tea and was stunned when she saw Lin Chen walking towards her. "What?" Li Qianhong frowned and said unhappily. "Uncle, I think you don't look well, and you don't seem to be in good health." Li Qianhong immediately became unhappy. He ran and exercised every day and had regular physical examinations. He knew how healthy he was better than anyone else. How could Lin Chen say that he was not very healthy? Li Qianhong was about to lose his temper when Lin Chen suddenly asked, "Uncle, have you not been sleeping well recently?" Chapter 20 My father-in-law extends an olive branch to me. When Li Qianhong heard this, his expression became more serious. "How do you know? Do I look like I have dark circles under my eyes?" Li Qianhong asked suspiciously. Lin Chen said, "No, because your face is gloomy, your energy is low, and you are full of fatigue. This is a typical case of lack of sleep. Have you been feeling unwell lately?" Li Qianhong was shocked and recalled carefully, "It's nothing, it's just that my cervical spine is uncomfortable, especially at night, the pain is severe, and I haven't slept well for several nights." "Didn't you go to see a doctor before?" Lin Chen asked. Li Qianhong said unhappily, "Of course I did, and I went to more than one hospital." "What did the doctor say?" "The doctor said I had cervical spondylosis and could only be treated conservatively. He prescribed me some dog skin plasters and let me go. But to be honest, these dog skin plasters don't work very well. The pain will still come." Li Qianhong curled his lips and said that he was a multi-millionaire after all, but he couldn't cure his cervical spondylosis with all his money, which made him very helpless. Lin Chen stood up. "Let me take a look at your cervical vertebrae." "Li Qianhong? Why? Have you ever studied medicine?" Li Qianhong looked at Lin Chen suspiciously. Lin Chen smiled and said, "Yes, I have learned some of it." Hearing this, Li Qianhong was even more surprised. After hesitating for a few seconds, he said, "Then let me see it." Li Qianhong thought to himself, "I want to see what you are capable of. If you dare to fool me, you are finished." Lin Chen came behind Li Qianhong. Just as Li Qianhong was about to turn his head, Lin Chen immediately held his head with his hand and said, "Don't move." Li Qianhong frowned. This kid was ordering him around. "Press here. Will it hurt?" Lin Chen suddenly stretched out his hand, pressed a joint on the back of Li Qianhong's neck with his fingers, and then asked Li Qianhong, "It hurts, it hurts. Let go, kid." Li Qianhong felt a burst of pain, and his expression was distorted with pain. "What about here?" Lin Chen pressed lightly on a joint upwards, and unexpectedly, the pain made Li Qianhong stand up immediately. "Damn it, you kid. Are you trying to murder me?" Li Qianhong grimaced in pain and spoke in an aggressive tone. He even suspected that Lin Chen was deliberately making trouble for him. "Your condition is caused by cervical spondylosis compressing the nerves. It's quite serious." Lin Chen shook his head and said helplessly. Li Qianhong said speechlessly, "Isn't it just a common cervical spondylosis?" Lin Chen said, "It's not common. If your condition continues to worsen, it is very likely that your hands and feet will become numb, and you may have to have a high-level amputation." Hearing this, Li Qianhong almost peed his pants. "High amputation?" Li Qianhong's face twitched slightly. "You kid, you want to scare me on purpose, right? Do you think I don't know about my disease? It's not as exaggerated as you say." Hearing this, Lin Chen sighed, "Uncle, you are Ziran's father, how could I possibly scare you? The cervical spine is a very important part of the body because it is connected to the brain. If the nerves are compressed, there will be insufficient blood supply, resulting in lack of oxygen to the brain and numbness of the hands and feet. Also, I felt some nodules on the back of your neck. Although the nodules themselves are nothing, they will aggravate your condition to a certain extent." Lin Chen patiently explained to Li Qianhong. After hearing this, Li Qianhong fell silent. This kid talks a lot, does he really know medicine? Thinking of this, Li Qianhong couldn't help but look up to Lin Chen. "I have a set of massage techniques that can relieve your cervical pain to a certain extent. Maybe you won't feel pain when you sleep tonight. Do you want to try it?" Lin Chen said with a smile. After all, he is his father-in-law, so Lin Chen doesn't mind helping Li Qianhong. Massage technique. Li Qianhong's mind moved and his eyes suddenly became cautious. "Don't you believe me?" Lin Chen said with a smile. "Then give it to me. It doesn't cost anything and you can enjoy a massage at the same time, so why not? And it can also be used as an opportunity to verify whether Lin Chen really means what he says. You sit up straight." Lin Chen put his hands on his father-in-law's shoulders and began to knead them. "Ouch." Li Qianhong's eyes widened, and he immediately became angry. "Boy, can't you use a little less force?" Lin Chen looked helpless and could only reduce his strength. "Will this not hurt?" Lin Chen raised a slight smile. The massage technique he performed was actually a massage technique invented by Hua Tuor. When Hua Tuor was still alive, he used this massage technique to massage Cao Cao. He cured Cao Cao's vertebral disease and was subsequently highly valued and rewarded by Cao Cao. As for why Lin Chen knows this massage technique, Of course, it was because of the god-level medical skills he had acquired before. Boy, your massage skills are really good. Li Qianhong's expression relaxed a lot, and he looked a little more enjoyable. There is no other reason. Lin Chen's massage was so comfortable. It's 100 times more comfortable than Wu Yanfang's massage at night. Of course. I studied medicine. Lin Chen said with a smile. Li Qianhong asked, "What kind of job are you doing now?" When Lin Chen heard his father-in-law asking about work, he thought about it and realized that he had no job at all. "I'm unemployed and I'm taking care of my kids at home for the time being," Lin Chen said generously. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Unemployed vagrant. When Li Qianhong heard these four words, his expression remained calm. If it were any other father-in-law, he would probably give you a cold shoulder when he heard that you were unemployed. My company happens to have a management position. Would you like to try it out? Li Qianhong asked. What? Lin Chen wondered if he had heard it wrong. His father-in-law was extending an olive branch to him. How much per month? Lin Chen asked with a smile. Li Qianhong. 50,000. 50,000. Lin Chen frowned and said, "That's a bit too little." As long as he had close contact with the four babies, he would be rewarded tens of thousands by the system in a day. 50,000 is not enough. Li Qianhong's face changed and he preached, "Young man, don't be too ambitious. Didn't you hear the news? With a stable monthly salary of more than 10,000 yuan, you've already surpassed more than 90% of the people in the country. Besides, the monthly salary I offer you is still 50,000. Lin Chen laughed after hearing this. 50,000 a month is a lot, but I want to make more money and give my four babies the best in the world. Hearing this, Li Qianhong's brows relaxed. It turned out that this was what Lin Chen thought. Indeed. If you want to give your babies the best of everything, then a monthly salary of 50,000 is just barely enough. After all, the most expensive can of milk powder costs tens of thousands of dollars. Just when Li Qianhong was thinking about whether to offer Lin Chen a better treatment. Wow! A baby's cry was heard in the bedroom. The child is awake, I'll go check him out. Lin Chen hurried to the bedroom. When I walked into the bedroom, I saw that Dabao and Sanbao had woken up. Lin Chen checked the two of them and found that Dabao and Sanbao needed diaper changes. There's nothing you can do about it, children are like this, they need to change their diapers several times a day. Do you need help? Li Qianhong stood at the door with a serious expression and asked with a stern face. At this time, Lin Chen was using paper to clean Dabao's buttocks. Without raising his head, he asked, "Can you change diapers?" Chapter 21 Mother-in-law films TikTok videos for the babies. Li Qianhong shook his head and said, "It's been too long since I changed it. I don't know how to change it." Lin Chen smiled and said, "Come, I'll show you." Lin Chen tore open the waist stickers on both sides of the diaper, opened the diaper, and lifted up Erbao's legs. Then Lin Chen placed the diaper under the second baby and put the second baby's legs down. Then smooth out both ends of the diaper, fold the other side up, and stick it on. Did you see it clearly? Lin Chen patted Erbao's butt and asked with a smile. Li Qianhong. Come, it's up to you to change Sanbao's diaper. Lin Chen threw a new diaper to Li Qianhong. Li Qianhong looked at the diaper in his hand and felt a little embarrassed. The main reason was that he felt a little embarrassed because he did it in front of Lin Chen. Seeing this, Lin Chen understood Li Qianhong's thoughts at a glance and said, "Sanbao is too noisy, you can take him outside to change." "Okay, let's change outside." Li Qianhong came outside holding a diaper and the crying Sanbao in her arms. "Don't keep crying, little guy. Isn't Grandpa's house fun?" Li Qianhong coaxed Sanbao with a helpless expression on his face. Afterwards, Li Qianhong changed Sanbao's diaper according to her memory. Seeing the little earthworm under Sanbao, Li Qianhong couldn't help but smile. 3 granddaughters and 1 grandson. With 2 older sisters and 1 younger sister, you will feel comfortable when you grow up. Li Qianhong said with a smile, but just as he lifted Sanbao's legs and was about to put the diaper underneath, the door clicked. Then, Li Ziran and Wu Yanfang came in after buying groceries. When Li Qianhong saw the 2 people coming in, he was stunned and a little panicked. "Dad!" Li Ziran shouted and was stunned. "Oh my god! Dad is actually changing Sanbao's diaper. How could that grumpy, meticulous, old-fashioned and strict father do such a thing? As for Wu Yanfang, she also couldn't believe what she saw. She knows Li Qianhong's temper best. Especially yesterday, Li Qianhong was still whispering in her ear that he would do this and that to her when Li Ziran came back. Wow, your attitude changed so quickly. Dad, let me do it. Li Ziran hurried over to help. You think I want to change his diaper? Li Qianhong said stubbornly. If this guy hadn't been crying all the time and the kid wasn't too busy, I wouldn't have changed his diaper. After saying that, Li Qianhong turned and left. Seeing this, Wu Yanfang shook her head helplessly, walked up to comfort him and said, Ziran, don't worry about it. Your father just cares about his reputation. Don't you realize that he has already forgiven you? Li Ziran nodded. She could certainly see that her father had forgiven her long ago. After changing the diaper, Li Ziran carried Sanbao to the bedroom. At this time, Lin Chen had just coaxed his second baby to sleep. Lin Chen, do you know? I just saw my dad changing the diaper for the third child. Li Ziran shared this with Lin Chen. Lin Chen smiled and said, I asked your father to change it for the third brother. You? Li Ziran looked at Lin Chen suspiciously. You can actually call my dad, why don't I believe it? Your father really admires me, doesn't he? Lin Chen said, and your father is also very good, but a little old-fashioned and face-conscious. Li Ziran nodded, she agreed with Lin Chen's evaluation. By the way, have you given your parents the Mid-Autumn Festival gifts we brought? Lin Chen asked. Li Ziran shook his head and said, not yet, why don't you give it to them now? Okay, I'll go if I want. Immediately afterwards, Lin Chen came to their hall carrying a bag. Auntie, this is the Mid-Autumn Festival gift that Ziran prepared for you. Lin Chen handed an exquisite little box to Wu Yanfang. Wu Yanfang opened it immediately and saw a beautiful watch inside. Xiao Chen, we are so happy that you can come, why bring a gift? There was a glimmer in Wu Yanfang's eyes, and it was obvious that she liked this watch very much. Lin Chen smiled slightly, let's put it this way. Auntie, do you like it? Like. If you like it, just accept it. Don't be polite to us. After saying that, Lin Chen picked up the bag and walked towards Li Qianhong, who was drinking tea. Uncle. Li Qianhong's heart moved. Could it be that I also got a share of the gift? Uncle, this is the Mid-Autumn Festival gift I prepared for you. Lin Chen handed the other box to Li Qianhong. Li Qianhong looked puzzled and blurted out, what is this? You'll know when you open it. Hearing Lin Chen's words, Li Qianhong immediately opened the box. Inside is the night shining pearl. Seeing the night pearl in the box, Li Qianhong couldn't help but be slightly surprised. Then, Li Qianhong picked up the night pearl and carefully observed it in his hand. Not bad. Although it is just a replica, it is pretty good to be able to imitate it to this extent. Li Qianhong's face was full of smiles. He has always been fond of collecting antiques, and Lin Chen's night pearl is exactly what he wants. Lin Chen. Did you hear that right? My father-in-law said this is a replica. Lin Chen was suddenly confused. Could it be that he had drawn a fake item in the system? Damn it. Thinking of this, Lin Chen quickly communicated with the system in his mind. My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later. Dogecoin system, come out. System, what's the matter? Lin Chen, the night pearl I drew last time, my father-in-law said it was fake. System, it's true, it's just that your father-in-law doesn't know the value of it. Lin Chen. I felt relieved. Uncle, this night pearl is real. Lin Chen said. Hearing this, Li Qianhong immediately blew his beard and glared. After all, I have been in the antique world for more than 10 years. Don't you think I don't have this much vision? Or do you think I'm easy to fool, old man? Hearing this, Lin Chen was speechless. Forget it, if you think it's fake, then it's fake. Lin Chen didn't explain. Anyway, Li Qianhong seemed to like this gift very much, even though he thought it was a high-quality imitation. Lin Chen returned to the bedroom. At this time, Wu Yanfang and Li Ziran were making the babies happy. By the way, have the babies been named yet? Wu Yanfang suddenly asked. Yes. Li Ziran said, the eldest is Lin Qingyu, the second is Lin Kasan, and the third is Lin Yi. What about the fourth one? Lin Yuwei. Li Ziran said to Wu Yanfang with a smile. Lin Yue, hello Lin Yue, these names are all good. Wu Yanfang was all smiles. AA. Suddenly, Debao, who was held in Wu Yanfang's arms, smiled. Look, Debao is smiling so happily tilde. Debao's smile made Lin Chen, Wu Yanfang and Li Ziran all smile involuntarily. This smile is so healing. Debao will definitely be a great beauty when she grows up. These eyes and nose are so beautiful. Suddenly, Wu Yanfang thought of something and said, oh, right, I want to make a TikTok video for the babies. Chapter 22, Drinking with my father-in-law, never getting drunk. The mother-in-law wants to shoot TikTok videos for the babies. Lin Chen naturally wouldn't say anything. Li Ziran had even less objection. Wu Yanfang pointed her phone at the 4 babies and quickly recorded a video. Afterwards, Wu Yanfang added BGM and uploaded the video to Douyin. Uncle, what are you doing hiding at the door? Suddenly, Lin Chen noticed Li Qianhong at the door. His acting so sneaky, is he eavesdropping on our conversation? Being noticed by Lin Chen, Li Qianhong's expression immediately turned serious. What's wrong? This is my home, why do you care where I stay? Having said that, Li Qianhong turned around and was about to leave. Dad. The next second Li Ziran called him. Dad, come in and chat with me. Li Ziran said with a moved expression. Wu Yanfang also said helplessly, old man, your daughter wants you to come in. Li Qianhong was about to say something when Lin Chen pulled him in. Uncle, you've already hugged your grandson, don't you want to hug your granddaughter? Lin Chen said with a smile. He was holding the 4th treasure, Lin Yue, in his arms. Just as Lin Chen finished saying this, Sibao Lin Yue actually gave Li Qianhong a healing smile. Suddenly, Li Qianhong felt his body being pierced by a ray of light. Yes. Of course. Li Qianhong came clean and said he would stop pretending. Afterwards, Lin Chen gently handed the 4th treasure, Lin Yue, to Li Qianhong. And Sibao didn't cry. His pair of bright big eyes stared straight at Li Qianhong. Li Qianhong felt like her heart was melting and couldn't help but smile. Seeing this scene, Li Ziran and Wu Yanfang looked at each other, then smiled and shook their heads. Uncle, Auntie is here now, and Ziran is here too, so I sincerely apologize to you. Lin Chen suddenly spoke up and put aside the incident with Li Ziran for the time being. It really caused harm to Li Ziran's parents. So Lin Chen felt that it was necessary to apologize. Although it's a bit embarrassing. But what if I lose face? This is my future father-in-law. Li Qianhong couldn't help but be slightly stunned. He didn't expect that Lin Chen would actually apologize to him. At this moment, all the opinions I had about Lin Chen in my heart disappeared. Dad, I apologize to you too. My attitude was not good before. Seeing that the atmosphere was right, Li Ziran also bowed his head and apologized to Li Qianhong. It's okay. This made Li Qianhong feel a little embarrassed. Because in his heart, he had already forgiven Li Ziran and accepted Lin Chen. Old lady, have you made lunch yet? Go and make lunch. Li Qianhong quickly changed the subject, trying to ease the embarrassment. Ziran, I'm going to make lunch. You can hold the baby. Wu Yanfang gently handed Debao to Li Ziran and went to cook. Soon, Wu Yanfang prepared the meal. Braised pork trotters, hairy crabs, stir-fried squid, spicy chicken, pickled cabbage, boiled fish, mapo tofu. The lunch was quite sumptuous. Everyone come out to eat. Wu Yanfang shouted into the room. In the room, Lin Chen, Li Qianhong and Li Ziran were chatting and laughing. Hearing that Wu Yanfang had prepared lunch, Li Qianhong stood up and said, let's go and eat. Okay, I'll be right there. Lin Chen gently put down Debao, who was sleeping in his arms, and then waited for Li Ziran to finish, and then they went out together. On the dining table, Li Qianhong sat down calmly, glanced at the food on the table, and couldn't help but frown and asked, why is there no wine? Don't you have neck pain recently? How dare you drink? Wu Yanfang was speechless and rolled her eyes at him. Old lady, have you ever heard anyone say that you can't drink alcohol if you have cervical pain? Li Qianhong looked at her and said, I'm in a good mood now. I'll have a few drinks no matter what. Go to the wine cabinet and get my treasured wine. Wu Yanfang had no choice but to go and get the wine. Can you drink? Li Qianhong looked at Lin Chen standing aside and asked with a smile. Lin Chen smiled and said, "Of course. Since my father-in-law wants to drink. No matter what, I have to drink a few drinks with him." However, Lin Chen regretted it the next second. Because the wine Wu Yanfang took out was Mao Tai, which is also white wine. Although Lin Chen can drink, he usually drinks beer and red wine. How could he drink white wine? "Xiao Chen, this is a 60,000 yuan bottle of golden bottle Mao Tai, a collector's edition. I wouldn't even be willing to give it to ordinary people who come to my house to drink." Li Qianhong said this as he opened the lid of the Jinping Mao Tai. Then he poured the wine into the glass in front of Lin Chen. All right, that's enough. Hey, this isn't even full yet. When I was your age, I could drink this amount of wine in one go." Ignoring Lin Chen's hand trying to stop him, Li Qianhong filled Lin Chen's cup. Lin Chen looked at the full glass of Mao Tai liquor and groaned in his heart. It's not like he hasn't tried drinking liquor before. But how should I put it, drinking white wine feels like fire burning my chest and throat. It's simply hard to swallow. What's more, he would get dizzy if he drank just a little bit of liquor. In short, Lin Chen doesn't know how to drink white wine. However, looking at his father-in-law's smiling face, Lin Chen felt embarrassed to ruin his fun. Come on, cheers. This chapter is not finished yet, please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. Li Qianhong raised his glass. Seeing this, Lin Chen immediately picked up his own glass and clinked it with his father-in-law. Then, Lin Chen took a sip. Suddenly, Lin Chen put on a mask of pain. Good guy. This Mao Tai is too strong. What's wrong? Is my Mao Tai not tasty? Seeing Lin Chen's unnatural expression, Li Qianhong couldn't help but frown. No. At this moment, a system prompt suddenly sounded in Lin Chen's mind. Ding! It is detected that the host cannot drink alcohol. Do you want to spend 500 points to buy the skill, 1000 cups without falling? Awesome, is it possible to cheat like this? Lin Chen did not hesitate at all and immediately said silently, yes. Deduct 500 points of nanny points. Congratulations to their host for obtaining the skill, 1000 cups without falling. Suddenly, Lin Chen turned into a wine-tasting master and could drink any kind of wine. And his drinking capacity has improved by hundreds of levels. There's no way I could get drunk. It is not an exaggeration to say that he is now possessed by a wine fairy. Feeling the changes in his body, Lin Chen smiled. He raised his glass and toasted his father-in-law. Uncle, I'll give you a toast in return. Har, okay. Li Qianhong was naturally very happy. After the two of them clinked glasses, Lin Chen tilted his head back and drank their wine in the glass. What a good wine. Uncle, your golden bottle of Mao Tai is really good. Lin Chen smacked his lips, his expression full of aftertaste. Seeing Lin Chen's amazing drinking capacity, Li Qianhong was stunned. Chapter 23, Drunk the Father-in-Law. Wow, he can drink quite a lot. Li Qianhong was dumbfounded. After all, this was white wine. It is said that you have to taste the liquor carefully to appreciate its flavor. In fact, there is another very important reason, which is that you cannot drink liquor so quickly. If you drink too fast, like Lin Chen did when he finished it all in one gulp, it would be easy to get drunk. Lin Chen, drink less. Li Ziran on the side spoke with concern. Lin Chen drank a 2-liang glass of white wine in one gulp, which really scared her. Okay, wife, I'll drink less. Lin Chen said with a smile. When Li Ziran heard Lin Chen calling him wife in front of his parents, he blushed instantly. Mom, what are you looking at? At this time, Li Ziran noticed Wu Yanfang standing next to him, her eyes fixed on the screen of her mobile phone. Wu Yanfang smiled and said, didn't I make a TikTok video for the babies? Now this video has attracted a lot of comments. Really? Let me see. Li Ziran leaned over and looked through the netizens' comments with Wu Yanfang. A wave of flowers, wow, what cute quadruplets flowers. Happy life, is this Ziran's baby? Ziran has become a mother so soon flowers. Welding Xiao Liu, congratulations. Flowers. A moment of romance, it's my first time seeing quadruplets, so magical. Thumbs up. Forget each other in the arena, little sister, I just finished feeding the pigs and saw your Douyin video. Where have you made money flowers recently? Meng Feixian, quadruplets. The babies are so cute thumbs up. Their masculinity of Northwest men, you are already a grandmother at such a young age, and your baby looks like Ziran Xianhua. Ian, wow. Quadruplets, congratulations, thumbs up. FAGE, second sister, is the baby 1 month old? When will we have the 1 month old banquet? Please treat me to a drink, snickering. A woman who has been hurt by love, giving birth to 4 children at once, Ziran will be blessed in the future love. Looking at these comments, Li Ziran and Wu Yanfang couldn't help but smile. These comments are hilarious. Li Ziran said. Wu Yanfang smiled and said, yes, I didn't expect that I would become a grandmother at the age of 41. Hey, I suddenly feel old. Wu Yanfang felt a little emotional. The word grandmother always gave people a feeling of being very old. Li Ziran comforted her, Mom, you don't look old at all, you look like you're 30. Har har har, stop trying to make Mom happy. Wu Yanfang said this, but she was still very happy in her heart. After all, she has taken good care of herself. Every time she goes out with Li Ziran, she is often mistaken for Li Ziran's sister. Forget it, let's not watch it anymore, let's just eat. Wu Yanfang said with a smile. However, when she and Li Ziran looked up, they found that Li Qianhong in front of them had a very red face and looked a little dazed. Dad is not drunk, right? Li Ziran was stunned. Come on, have another drink, tilde. I am happy today, tilde. Xiao Chen, you must take good care of my daughter in the future. You can't bully her. You must protect her. Did you hear that? Li Qianhong put one hand on Lin Chen's shoulder and began to talk nonsense. Lin Chen couldn't help but feel helpless. It seemed that his father-in-law couldn't drink much. At the beginning, he threatened to drink himself to death. As a result, I got drunk first. Of course, the main reason is that I am too strong with the skill of drinking 1,000 cups. Otherwise, the person talking nonsense now might be me. Uncle, you've drunk too much. Who's drunk? Come on, keep going. Li Qianhong is very stubborn. He would feel very embarrassed if he couldn't drink more than his son-in-law. You, stop drinking. Seeing this, Wu Yanfang immediately began to persuade Li Qianhong. Dad, stop drinking. You're drunk. Li Ziran also tried to persuade him. Who said I was drunk? I'm not drunk. As soon as Li Qianhong finished speaking, he leaned unsteadily on the dining table. Lin Chen pushed Li Qianhong and found that he was actually asleep. Congratulations to their host for getting the father-in-law drunk on their first meeting. Cash reward, 500,000. Buzz tilde. Lin Chen felt the phone in his pocket vibrate. If nothing goes wrong, it should be a text message informing you that $500,000 has arrived. Dad is asleep. Li Ziran was stunned. I always brag about my drinking capacity, but I didn't expect to lose it right away when I met someone who was better. Wu Yanfang said helplessly, Hey, Xiao Chen, help him to the room to sleep. Good. Afterwards, Lin Chen helped his father-in-law back to the room. After letting his father-in-law lie down, Lin Chen returned to the dining table and had lunch with Li Ziran and Wu Yanfang. Soon, a day passed. Night falls. After taking a shower, Lin Chen lay on Li Ziran's bed. I have to say, the first time I came to my girlfriend's house and slept in her bed, it felt really magical. In the stroller nearby, 4 babies were sleeping like pigs, without any movement. Just at this moment, Li Ziran came in after taking a shower. She was wearing a nightgown, revealing a pretty face with a fair and swan-like neck. She was wearing slippers, and her white feet were nimble and cute. Is the baby asleep? Li Ziran asked. Lin Chen nodded and said, They are all asleep. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Afterwards, Li Ziran stood before landing and wiped his hair with a dry towel. She originally wanted to use a hair dryer. But the noise from the hair dryer would wake the baby, so forget it. At this moment, Lin Chen suddenly felt something, and hugged Li Ziran from behind, saying lazily, Baby. What? What do you think? Lin Chen rested his chin on Li Ziran's shoulders. From this angle, Li Ziran's profile was very beautiful. Afterwards, Lin Chen's hands started to become dishonest. My parents are still out there. Li Ziran rolled her eyes at Lin Chen and reminded him shyly. After this reminder, Lin Chen hurriedly locked the door and hugged Li Ziran again. Okay, now it's safe. Li Ziran. Afterwards, under Lin Chen's guidance, Li Ziran squatted down in front of Lin Chen, tucked her hair behind her ears, and tilted her head slightly. 10 minutes later. The erotic scene has just ended. There was a knock on the door. Ziran. Wu Yanfang spoke outside. Hearing his mother-in-law's voice, Lin Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he had locked the door. Otherwise, if my mother-in-law saw what happened just now. I'm coming. Li Ziran immediately went over to open the door. After the door opened, Wu Yanfang smiled and said, Xiao Chen, Ziran, come out and eat pomelo and mooncakes. After all, it is Mid-Autumn Festival, and there is a custom of eating pomelo and mooncakes at night. Okay, Mom. Li Ziran's expression was a little unnatural. At this time, Wu Yanfang noticed something and couldn't help but ask curiously. Ziran, what did you eat just now? Why are your lips a little swollen? Chapter 24. The man who saved the galaxy in his previous life. Hearing what his mother-in-law said, Lin Chen was stunned. Can you tell anything from this? Li Ziran was also stunned for a moment, but she adjusted herself quickly and tried to calm herself down. Really? I didn't eat anything. Li Ziran touched his lips, looking curious. Okay, let's come out later to eat mooncakes and pomelo. After saying that, Wu Yanfang left. Lin Chen, do you think my mouth is congested? Li Ziran walked towards Lin Chen. Lin Chen looked at it carefully and said with a smile, it really is a little bit. It's all your fault. Not only did you use so much force, but you also had to press my head down. Li Ziran gave Lin Chen a blank look. Lin Chen was speechless for a moment, because it was indeed his fault. Baby, don't be angry. Lin Chen hugged Li Ziran, and suddenly thought of something, and said, by the way, baby, I don't think I have discussed the betrothal gift with your dad yet. Dowry. Li Ziran was stunned. Lin Chen smiled and said, yes, if I marry you, I have to give you a gift. Hearing this, Li Ziran smiled and felt very sweet in her heart. Because she was very much looking forward to the day when Lin Chen would marry her. Marrying Lin Chen can be said to be her recent ideal. Then don't just talk about it, go talk to my dad about this. Li Ziran said, by the way, you haven't told me yet, how much do you want to accept as a gift? Li Ziran remembers that she often saw a type of news on the internet where the girl's parents asked for too much gift money, and the boy found it unacceptable, and finally the couple was forced to break up. Therefore, Li Ziran really wanted to know how much dowry Lin Chen could accept. I'm fine with either. Lin Chen didn't care. All he had now was money. However, according to the current price of dowry, it should be at least hundreds of thousands. Lin Chen said casually. When Li Ziran heard this number, he quickly shook his head and said, hundreds of thousands, this is too much. I think that for something like a betrothal gift, giving 10,000 or 20,000 yuan is enough to show your appreciation. Or give 8888, this number sounds more auspicious. What do you think, Lin Chen? Hearing what Li Ziran said, Lin Chen was a little confused. Other people's wives, especially those who support their brothers, would like to ask for more dowry. In this day and age, a bride price of over 100,000 yuan is actually quite normal. However, Li Ziran cared so much about him that Lin Chen wanted to shout out loud, what a treasure wife! Bao, I think you should listen to your father's opinion. Lin Chen said firmly, no matter how much he asks for as a gift, I will give it to him. Not long after, Lin Chen and Li Ziran came out of the room together. In their hall, Li Qianhong had just woken up. In front of him was a pot of tea, which was sobering tea. Uncle, you're awake. Lin Chen walked over with a smile. Yeah, you can drink way too much. Li Qianhong felt inferior and joked, it seems that I can't drink with you in the future. Xiao Chen, Ziran, come and eat grapefruit. Wu Yanfang on the side said enthusiastically, holding a freshly peeled red heart pomelo in her hand. Okay, Mom, I'll do it myself. Li Ziran said with a smile. Uncle, I want to discuss something with you. At this time, Lin Chen spoke. Oh. Li Qianhong was curious and asked with a smile, what's the matter? Lin Chen said seriously, I want to marry Ziran, so I want to talk to you and Auntie about the betrothal gift. Bride price. Hearing these two words, Li Qianhong and Wu Yanfang were both stunned. Then I thought, indeed, now that the children are born, then it's time to consider getting married. It is normal to get pregnant before marriage now, but usually a wedding will be held later. Wu Yanfang looked at Li Qianhong and gave him a look, as if asking him to make up his mind. She didn't care. Lin Qianhong was silent for a moment, then asked, "Do you really want to marry Ziran? Not just for the sake of the child?" "Of course not. I really love Ziran. Marrying her is my lifelong wish," Lin Chen said sincerely. On the side, Li Ziran, who was eating pomelo, blushed when she heard this. This guy. Being so corny in front of your own parents. Li Qianhong nodded. "It's good that you are sincere. Then I can rest assured to hand Ziran over to you. What about the gift?" Lin Chen still wanted to know his father-in-law's opinion on the bride price. Li Qianhong smiled and said, "As for the betrothal gift, forget it. We in the Li family don't have the custom of accepting betrothal gifts. No dowry." Lin Chen was stunned. "Oh my god, I must be dreaming." Even Li Ziran was a little surprised. She thought that her father would not ask Lin Chen how much money. "But I didn't expect that it wouldn't cost a penny. But it would be fine if I didn't have to pay a penny. Dad doesn't need that little money anyway." "Uncle, are you serious?" Lin Chen swallowed his saliva. In all his years of life, this was the first time he heard of a father-in-law not asking for a single penny in dowry. "How about this, you and Ziran get married, and I'll give you a dowry of 2 million, plus 2 shops on the central street. Just consider it as Ziran's dowry," Li Qianhong said with a smile. Lin Chen. Damn it. Not only does she not want a single cent of betrothal gift, she also wants a dowry of 2 million, plus 2 shops on the central street. This chapter is not finished yet. Please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. What kind of divine father-in-law is this? If all fathers-in-law in the world were as good as Ziran's father, are there still bachelors in this world? Old woman, what do you think? Li Qianhong looked at Wu Yanfang. Wu Yanfang smiled and said, "I have no objection. Just make the decision. I will listen to you." "Okay, then let's decide this matter." Li Qianhong said to Lin Chen, "When we have time another day, we will meet with your parents to discuss the wedding banquet and listen to their opinions." Upon hearing this, Li Ziran's face suddenly froze. Because she was the only person present who knew Lin Chen's family situation. "Dad," Li Ziran opened his mouth, but hesitated to speak. "What's wrong?" Li Qianhong looked at Li Ziran curiously. At this time, Lin Chen said frankly, "Uncle, I don't have parents. I am an orphan. I grew up in an orphanage. I don't know who my parents are, whether they are dead or alive, and I don't have any relatives." Hearing Lin Chen's words, Li Qianhong and Wu Yanfang were extremely surprised. They never expected that Lin Chen's life experience was so miserable. This child is so pitiful. Li Qianhong and Wu Yanfang are both kind people. Instead of despising Lin Chen's family background, they began to sympathize with him. "Xiao Chen, it's okay. As a man, you can live well without relying on your parents," said Li Qianhong. Yes, from now on, Auntie's house is your home." Wu Yanfang also comforted. "Lin Chen, how can you have no family? You have 4 children, and me, we are your family," Li Ziran said with a moved expression. Hearing what the 3 people said, Lin Chen was almost moved to tears. He felt that he must have saved the galaxy in his previous life to have met such a good wife, father-in-law and mother-in-law. Chapter 25. Agree to my father-in-law to manage the branch factory. "Xiao Chen, if that's the case, let me decide the date for you and Ziran's wedding." Li Qianhong said, "I will ask my friend who knows feng shui someday to find out which day is the most auspicious and suitable for getting married this year." "Okay." Lin Chen naturally had no objection. When Li Ziran heard this, he nodded. "By the way, would you really like to consider helping me run the company?" Li Qianhong looked at Lin Chen. He really wanted Lin Chen to follow him. Especially after knowing that Lin Chen was an orphan, that thought became even stronger. The main thing is that he only has one daughter, Li Ziran. No matter how much money you make, you will never be able to spend it all in this lifetime, and you won't be able to take it with you into the coffin when you die. All the money from now on will be left to my daughter. So he really wanted Lin Chen to help him, which was actually a best of both worlds solution. If Lin Chen performs well, it would not be a bad idea to leave all my property to Lin Chen in the future. Wu Yanfang, yes, Xiao Chen, do you want to consider it? As for the treatment, we can discuss it. You are one of us, will we treat you unfairly? Li Qianhong said generously, if you come to my company, I will directly hand over the branch factory to you for management. Wu Yanfang continued to persuade him, it's not easy to make money if you go out to work. Society is different now. It's hard to find a job even if you have a bachelor's degree. But I don't need to work. Lin Chen shook his head and said helplessly. No need to work. Li Qianhong and Wu Yanfang looked at Lin Chen curiously. At this time, Li Ziran explained, looking at Li Qianhong and his wife, Dad, Mom, Lin Chen is investing on his own now, so he really doesn't have to go to work. And we recently moved to a new home, in the Bund Villa. The Bund Villa? Li Qianhong and Wu Yanfang were a little surprised. You know, a villa on the Bund costs at least 50 million yuan. Xiao Chen, is this true? Wu Yanfang looked very surprised. Yes. Lin Chen actually felt a little guilty, because investment was just an excuse, and the nanny system was the real thing. Of course, no wonder the cars I see you driving are all G-Class. At this moment, the doubts in Wu Yanfang's heart were explained. Li Qianhong looked at Lin Chen approvingly, I didn't expect you to make a lot of money through investment. It's great. No wonder you didn't think highly of my 50,000 yuan monthly salary. At this moment, Li Qianhong's previous confusion was also explained. Lin Chen smiled and said, nothing, just good luck. Li Qianhong still didn't want to give up, and advised Lin Chen, since you have such a keen business vision for investment, why don't you help me manage the branch factory? Besides, my branch is very close to the Bund, so there is actually no need to do anything. Just visit once in a while. This way, I don't have to transfer someone to manage it. Li Qianhong's words really made Lin Chen feel reluctant to refuse the kindness. In fact, Lin Chen has always been a Buddhist person, especially now that the nanny system can generate income every day. It is no exaggeration to say that Lin Chen no longer has any pursuit of money. Anyway, there is no way to spend all the money. This made Lin Chen even more indifferent to the world, and he wanted to just lie down at home. Just imagine, he takes care of the children at home every day, and he also has a gentle, beautiful, and well-built daughter-in-law at home. Isn't it nice to live a life of lying down like this? However, at this moment, the system's voice sounded. Ding! It is detected that their host is facing a choice. Choice 1, refuse my father-in-law's management of the branch factory, cash reward, 500,000. Choice 2, agree to my father-in-law to manage the branch factory, reward, design drawings of a god-level sports car. Lin Chen's expression was filled with surprise. The design drawings of a god-level sports car? What is this? After reading the introduction, Lin Chen realized that this was a sports car that was 50 years ahead of the world and could be called black technology. Once this black technology sports car is developed, Ferrari, McLaren, and Lamborghini are all younger brothers. In this situation, Lin Chen chose two without hesitation. Okay, I promise. Lin Chen said with a smile. Real. Li Qianhong's eyes lit up, and he was extremely happy. Then I will tell the assistant of the branch factory, you find time to go to my branch factory and let the employees there know you. Good. Lin Chen nodded. Seeing that Lin Chen agreed, Li Ziran and Wu Yanfang were also very happy. The next day, after staying at his father-in-law's house for one night, Lin Chen and Li Ziran planned to take the baby back to their Bund Villa. Because they needed to get a birth certificate for the baby, and considering some inconveniences, Wu Yanfang came along. With Wu Yanfang taking care of the children, Lin Chen and Li Ziran will have more freedom. As for Li Qianhong, he had originally planned to go to the Bund Villa together to take a look. But the head office suddenly called and said there was an urgent matter, so we didn't come together for the time being. The Bund Villa. Wu Yanfang gently placed the baby on the sofa, but unexpectedly, the baby was still awakened and burst into tears. Ziran, Erbao must be hungry, please feed her some milk. Good. Li Ziran took the second baby from Wu Yanfang, then lifted up her shirt and started feeding. As for Lin Chen, he was also there with his baby. After Li Ziran finished feeding the babies, they fell asleep again. Either they eat, drink, defecate, urinate, or they sleep and cry. All babies are like this. By the way, aren't you going to apply for a birth certificate for your baby? You can go now. It's just in time for lunch after you finish. Wu Yanfang said. My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later. Lin Chen nodded. Mom, then you stay at home and take care of the babies. Ziran and I will go out for a while. After all, Wu Yanfang has experience in taking care of children, so Lin Chen can be said to be very relieved to have her taking care of the babies. Afterwards, Lin Chen and Li Ziran went out. To apply for a child's birth certificate, you must go to the hospital where the child was born. And the processing must be timely and according to the processing time specified by the hospital. Sometimes it is processed within 1 month after the child or adult is discharged from the hospital. Some may take a little longer, but you must pay attention to the processing time and don't procrastinate or be lazy, otherwise it will delay things. In the Mercedes-Benz G, Li Ziran had just closed the door when Lin Chen said to her, "By the way, give me your ID card. I'll need it to apply for the birth certificate for the baby later." Our ID card. Yeah, you don't have an ID card, do you? Yes, I do, but Li Ziran took out her ID card from her bag and held it tightly in her hand. Then he said helplessly to Lin Chen, "But you have to promise me that you will not look at the photo on my ID card." "Okay, I promise," Lin Chen said with a smile. Then, Li Ziran handed his ID card to Lin Chen. Unexpectedly, as soon as Lin Chen got the ID card, he began to carefully look at the photo of Li Ziran on it. The photo should be taken when Li Ziran was 16 years old. At that time, she had 2 pigtails, her facial features had not yet fully developed, and her temperament was very much like that of a wild girl from the country. Har har har. Lin Chen immediately laughed mercilessly. Is this photo considered as my wife's dark history? Oh. Don't look at it. You bad guy, you said you wouldn't look at it. Li Ziran immediately tried to grab his ID card, but the shameless Lin Chen grabbed the back of Li Ziran's neck with his armpit. Then, he pinched Li Ziran's mouth and kissed her hard. "Baby, give me a kiss." "Our bad guy. You only know how to bully me." Li Ziran rolled his eyes at Lin Chen, still feeling unbalanced, and said to Lin Chen playfully, "You looked at my ID photo, so I want to see yours too." Chapter 26, A Fatal Question. How many exes have you dated? See your ID photo? Lin Chen smiled and said, "Sure, my ID card is in the glove box in front of you." Li Ziran opened the glove box in front of him and saw Lin Chen's ID card. "Why do you leave your ID card in a place like this?" As Li Ziran spoke, she looked towards the side with the photo, and suddenly, her expression became surprised. Lin Chen in the photo is a sunny boy with a very handsome appearance. Although she is young, her appearance is very high. It was the first time that Li Ziran saw such a handsome ID photo. You should know that the portraits taken on ID cards are generally uglier than the real person. When was this taken? Li Ziran asked. Lin Chen said, "It seems to be when I graduated from junior high school or high school." How about it, isn't it handsome? HMPH, narcissism. Li Ziran said hypocritically, "It's just like that." Okay, then go find a more handsome husband. Li Ziran? Lin Chen touched her dog head and said, "I was just kidding, you bastard." Humph, you just talk nonsense. I'll beat you up. Li Ziran punched Lin Chen's chest with her small fist, but the force was very light. Not long. Lin Chen drove a Mercedes-Benz G to the city central hospital. Applying for a birth certificate is not a difficult matter, but you need to wait in a long line. Lin Chen. Suddenly, a female nurse passing by noticed Lin Chen who was queuing. Lin Chen looked at the female nurse. She was very beautiful and her face looked familiar. But for a moment, Lin Chen couldn't remember who the other person was. "It's me, Zhang Sini." Zhang Sini smiled bitterly and reminded Lin Chen. Suddenly, Lin Chen had some impressions. "So it's you." Lin Chen smiled at Zhang Sini. This Zhang Sini is Lin Chen's junior high school classmate. And I even spent a semester sitting next to me. I remember that Zhang Sini once wrote a love letter to myself to confess her feelings. It's a pity that Lin Chen at that time was ignorant about love and rejected the other party. I felt you were familiar from a distance, but I didn't expect it was really you. Zhang Sini smiled happily and said, "Lin Chen, we haven't seen each other for many years." "About 5 or 6 years. Lin Chen smiled. In fact, he hadn't seen Zhang Sini since he graduated from junior high school. Yes. At this moment, looking at the male idol she liked in junior high school, Zhang Sini was in a trance. Are you waiting in line to get your baby's birth certificate? Zhang Sini's tone suddenly revealed surprise. Just now, she only noticed that Lin Chen was queuing, but did not notice the window of the queue. Could it be that Lin Chen has become a father? Yes, get a certificate for the child. When did you get married? Why didn't I hear any news? Didn't you get into college? You're graduating so soon. Not married yet, but the child is born. So that's how it is. For some reason, after hearing that Lin Chen had become a father, Zhang Sini suddenly felt very lost. Yes, I did like Lin Chen very much when I was in junior high school. But it's been so many years. But at this moment, Zhang Sini still felt uncomfortable. If it were nighttime now, she would probably just become emo. Fine. Zhang Sini forced a smile, then remembered something and said, by the way, Lin Chen, there will be a reunion for junior high school classmates next month, will you come? Class reunion? I don't know either. I'll see if I have time then. Lin Chen now only has his wife and children in his heart. Not really interested in any gatherings. But if you have time on the day of the party and you are in a good mood, you can consider going to the party. Okay, I hope you can come. Then, the two chatted for a while and Zhang Sini left. Little did he know that this scene was just witnessed by Li Ziran. Seeing Lin Chen talking and laughing with a beautiful nurse, Li Ziran felt a little depressed. Soon, Lin Chen obtained birth certificates for the 4 babies. As soon as they got back to the car, Li Ziran asked directly, Lin Chen, who is that beautiful nurse? Have you known each other before? Which beautiful nurse? Still pretending, I saw it all. Li Ziran said angrily. Seeing Li Ziran's jealous look, Lin Chen thought she was cute and said with a smile, she was my junior high school classmate and also my former suitor. Suitor? Hearing these 3 words, Li Ziran stared at Lin Chen with a smile. Great, you still remember your admirer after all these years, it seems that you like her too. No. Lin Chen quickly explained. Tell me. How many exes have you dated? Li Ziran stared straight at Lin Chen with her beautiful eyes. Lin Chen was helpless. Isn't the topic of ex-boyfriend a fatal one? If I don't answer well, I'll probably have to sleep on the sofa tonight. Actually, I haven't talked about it. Lin Chen looked serious. Li Ziran? How is that possible? I don't believe it. If you've never had a relationship, how do you know so many tricks? I really haven't talked about it. Li Ziran said speechlessly that she had never been in a relationship before and Lin Chen was her first man. I really haven't talked about it. Lin Chen said, I heard all those tricks you mentioned from my college roommate. I don't understand anything. This chapter is not finished yet, please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. TSK. Do you think I would believe it? But I'm telling the truth. Okay, I won't argue with you. Just drive seriously. Return to the Bund villa. As soon as they returned home, Lin Chen and Li Ziran heard the baby crying. Mom, we're back. The two walked in and saw Wu Yanfang changing Sibao's diaper, while Sibao was crying loudly in Wu Yanfang's arms. Mom, let me do it. Li Ziran walked over. Wu Yanfang asked, have you got the baby's birth certificate ready? It's done. Lin Chen spoke, and then he went back to the bedroom and saw that the other babies were sleeping soundly. Xiao Chen, Ziran, do you still remember the Douyin video I sent to the babies before? Wu Yanfang suddenly spoke, her tone a little excited. I remember. What's wrong? Li Ziran asked. That video is now very popular, with over 1 million likes, and several advertisers have sent me private messages looking for collaboration. It's so exaggerated. Wu Yanfang said excitedly. Lin Chen, who was not far away, said, really? Show me the video. Lin Chen remembered that his mother-in-law had indeed taken a TikTok video of the babies. But I didn't expect it to get over 1 million likes. Look for yourselves. Wu Yanfang handed the phone to Lin Chen. Lin Chen looked at the video taken by his mother-in-law. 3 strings of data were displayed on the right side of the video. 155W likes, 8W comments, 12W reposts. This video is really popular. Lin Chen was slightly surprised. You know, many videos posted by big internet celebrities don't have this number of likes. Afterwards, Lin Chen clicked on the comment section to see what netizens had said. Chapter 27. Lin Chen wants to build a sports car. Lin Chen, come sit next to me, I want to watch too, said Li Ziran. Lin Chen nodded, then sat down next to Li Ziran, and the two looked at the netizens' messages together. Better at licking than He Xiaohu, excuse me, is the mother of this child a pig? How can she be so fertile? Looking at this comment with the highest number of likes, Li Ziran's face suddenly became dark. You are the pig, your whole family is pigs. She and Riven both have short hair, fuck. Quadruplets. 666. I'm really not a bootlicker, my goodness, even the donkeys in the production team wouldn't dare give birth like this. Lonely snake, this is too fertile. This is the first time I've seen quadruplets in my life. Cheese snow leopard, I don't have much education, I just want to say awesome. Little Bear is 3 years old this year, the baby is so cute, he will definitely be very pretty when he grows up. I feel sleepy every day, wow, can you please send a baby to me? It's harder than winning 5 million. I wish you a happy life. Come and see the quadruplets, so magical. There were hundreds of thousands of messages, almost all of which expressed shock. Wu Yanfang, Xiao Chen, Ziran, do you think I should delete this video? Now that this video has become popular, Wu Yanfang is worried that it will affect the baby, so she wants to delete the video. That's not necessary. Lin Chen said, this video has been saved tens of thousands of times. There is no point in deleting it now. It's okay if he becomes famous, mom. When the baby grows up, his appearance will change completely. Li Ziran saw through Wu Yanfang's worries and said so. Wu Yanfang nodded and finally decided not to delete the video. Since it had so many likes, netizens probably had no ill intentions. Just then, Lin Chen received a call from his father-in-law. Lin Chen, do you have time now? Li Qianhong asked on the other end of the phone. Lin Chen asked, what's wrong? If you have time now, please go to the branch factory. A batch of orders have just arrived. Please sign for me and let my assistant get to know you. Li Qianhong said with a smile. Okay, I'll be there now. Lin Chen said he had time after talking to Li Qianhong. He said to Li Ziran and Wu Yanfang, you stay home and take care of the baby. I'll go out and take a look at the branch factory. Okay, go ahead. Li Ziran nodded. Then, Lin Chen picked up the car keys and went out. At the same time, Tianhong Technology Company, Limited. Damn it, this is poisonous. I was just about to take a nap and they woke me up. What on earth does Manager Xia want to tell you? I heard that a branch manager has arrived, so we are asked to come out to greet him. Director of the branch? No way, what does he look like? At the company gate, a group of employees were talking and were curious about the so-called branch manager. At this time, a young beauty holding documents, tall and plump, wearing a sexy black OL uniform appeared. She said to the many employees, excuse me, everyone. It was supposed to be a break, but I received a temporary notice from the headquarters that the factory manager will be here soon. Everyone, please be alert and give him a warm welcome. Xia Yuli said softly. After hearing what Xia Yuli said, the employees perked up and waited expectantly. Not long. A Mercedes-Benz G drove into the company and stopped at the door in full view of everyone. Lin Chen got out of the car and found so many people standing at the door. What are you doing? Lin Chen smiled slightly and walked towards the crowd generously. At this time, Xia Yuli quickly reminded, quick! Welcome General Lin. What? He is actually General Lin. At this moment, all the employees were a little confused, because Lin Chen looked to be in his early 20s at most. This is too young. How could they not be surprised that he was younger than them but became their immediate superior? Welcome, Mr. Lin. Then, all the employees cheered enthusiastically and bowed slightly to Lin Chen, who was not far away. Lin Chen was a little confused, but he quickly reacted and said with a smile, hello everyone, please take care of me in the future. Phew. Hearing Lin Chen's words, Xia Yuli couldn't help but laugh. How can employees take care of their bosses? Why does this new boss seem a little bit unintelligent? Immediately afterwards, Xia Yuli asked all the employees to disperse, and she accompanied Lin Chen to the office. Xia Yuli is very beautiful. Her looks and figure can be compared with that of the school beauty Zhu Huimin. My father-in-law actually arranged such a good-looking assistant for himself. At this moment, Lin Chen couldn't help but wonder if his father-in-law was testing him. Boss Lin, this is a 3 million order from Qiangqiang Technology. Please sign it. Xie Yuli handed a document to Lin Chen. Lin Chen glanced through the file and found something that surprised him. Wait a minute, are we a company that produces cars? Lin Chen asked. Since Li Qianhong had not told him before, Lin Chen did not know what business the company was engaged in. But now, Lin Chen was surprised to find that his father-in-law actually ran a car manufacturing company. Suddenly, Lin Chen thought of the super sports car design drawing that was rewarded by the system in his system backpack. Xie Yuli didn't expect the boss to ask this question. After a pause, she replied, "Yes, what's wrong, Mr. Lin?" "My dear, there is more to this chapter. Please click on the next page to continue reading. It's even more exciting later." "Can you build a sports car?" Lin Chen asked. "Sports car?" Xie Yuli smiled bitterly and said, "Most sports car manufacturers are overseas. Our company is not that capable and has never tried to make sports cars. If we make ordinary cars, we do have some experience." "Is that so? Why don't you try making a sports car?" Lin Chen smiled, eager to try. Boss Lin, are you serious? You are not joking, are you?" Xie Yuli was surprised by Lin Chen's words. She didn't expect that the new boss was so strong. "Building a sports car right away? Is our company really okay?" It's not that Xie Yuli looks down on Qianhong Company, but she has been working in this company for a year. The company has never made a sports car before. To be precise, there is no sports car manufacturer in the entire China. Sports cars like Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari, etc. are all shipped from abroad by sea. "Of course I'm not kidding," Lin Chen said, "on my WeChat and I will send you a document later." "Okay." Xie Yuli didn't say anything more. "After all, I'm just an employee. Just listen to your boss and do what he says." Afterwards, Lin Chen turned on the office computer and edited the file with his hands quickly typing on the keyboard. A few minutes later, after the file was edited, Lin Chen logged into WeChat and sent the file to Xie Yuli. At the same time, after receiving the file, Xie Yuli opened it and started browsing it immediately. After seeing the sports car drawings drawn by Lin Chen in the file, as well as the details of each aspect, Xie Yuli was stunned for a moment. Chapter 28, Helping Vivian Chow shoot TikTok. This sports car is so cool. It's not like Xie Yuli has never seen a sports car before, but this is the first time she has seen such a cool and attractive one. She dared to guarantee that if this sports car was really made, it would be popular all over the country, and even the world. Immediately afterwards, Xie Yuli notified the purchasing manager and prepared to purchase the parts needed for the production of this sports car. After leaving the company, Lin Chen returned to the Bund villa. "Stinky baby, you can still laugh." In the living room, Li Ziran was making Erbao happy. She pinched Erbao's face and Erbao laughed non-stop. Seeing this scene, Lin Chen quickly reminded, "Wife, the baby's face can't be pinched often, otherwise the baby will drool easily." Is there such a saying? Li Ziran quickly withdrew her hand. She just thought the baby was so cute that she couldn't help pinching it. She didn't expect that pinching the face would be harmful to the baby. Lin Chen explained, "Yes, because the baby's facial skin is relatively delicate, it is best not to pinch the baby's face or get too close to it. Pinching a baby's face frequently can easily induce drooling, which is not good for the baby's health." Li Ziran was shocked when she heard these words. It seemed that she really couldn't pinch the baby's face so often in the future. Although babies are very cute, you still need to control yourself. Yeah. Suddenly, Erbao, who was held in Li Ziran's arms, seemed very happy and couldn't help laughing. "Erbao looks very happy today." Lin Chen couldn't help but say. Li Ziran said, "Yes, Erbao is like a chicken with blood injected today, not only is he very excited, but he also keeps laughing. I don't know what she is laughing at." Li Ziran looked at her second child, Lin Kasan, in her arms. The second child grinned again, and her smile was very healing. Lin Chen was infected by Erbao's smile and picked up his mobile phone to take a picture of the scene. "Honey, hold on tight. I'm going to take a picture of Erbao." As he spoke, Lin Chen turned on the camera and aimed the lens at Erbao. Click. As the sound rang out, Lin Chen successfully took a photo of Erbao. Ding! Their host takes a photo of the baby, and the reward skill is God-level photography skill. God-level photography skills. What kind of useless skill is this? When Lin Chen heard the name, he thought this skill was rubbish. However, the next second, as a piece of information poured into Lin Chen's brain, Lin Chen was slightly surprised. Can photos be taken like this? There are so many techniques in photography. It is no exaggeration to say that with Lin Chen's current photography skills, he can definitely become a director. And he can be a top-notch director. Maybe this skill can be used in the future. Lin Chen thought so in his heart. The water temperature is about right, bring Erbao in to take a bath. At this time, Wu Yanfang came out of the bathroom with a smile. Xiao Chen, you're back too. How was your visit to the company? It feels good. The company is quite large. Lin Chen told the truth. That's good. Wu Yanfang nodded. Afterwards, Li Ziran took Erbao to the bathroom to take a shower, but at this moment, Lin Chen heard the doorbell outside. Lin Chen immediately went to the balcony and saw that the person standing at the door was Vivian Chao. Seeing Lin Chen, Zhu Weiman immediately smiled and waved, pointing at the door, indicating that Lin Chen should come down and open the door. Lin Chen, who's here? Li Ziran also heard the doorbell and couldn't help but ask. Lin Chen, it's Vivian Chao. I'll go down and open the door for her. Good. Today, Joey Wang is still wearing a JK suit, white silk calf socks, and black leather shoes. Her pair of slender anime legs are white and straight, which can easily make people's brains turn red when they see them. However, she didn't seem to be in a very good mood today and seemed a little depressed. Li Ziran could tell at a glance that something was wrong with her bestie today, and couldn't help but ask with concern, "What's wrong, Weiman, are you in a bad mood today?" "A little bit." Zhu Weiman sat down on the sofa. The people in front of her were Lin Chen and Li Ziran. As for Wu Yanfang, she was giving Sambao a bath in the bathroom. "What's the matter?" Li Ziran asked jokingly, "Could it be that you've been heartbroken?" "No, I don't even have a boyfriend, how could I be heartbroken?" Zhu Weiman didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Then she told the real reason. It turns out that Vivian Chao is an internet celebrity with more than 5 million followers on TikTok. With her sexy cross-dressing videos and innocent face, she gained millions of followers overnight. Many netizens even call it the ceiling of pure desire in Douyin. After that, Joey Wang became more and more popular, and her number of fans increased to 5 million in just 2 months. In short, Joey Wang was once very popular on TikTok. Why say once? Because she is not so popular now. That's right, Joey Wang's recent works are mediocre and not popular. There are only a few tens of thousands of likes, which is completely incomparable to before. Seeing her fan base decreasing and her popularity dropping, Joey Wang became a little anxious. You know, the reason why she was able to achieve financial freedom in college was by monetizing TikTok. The most important thing is that Joey Wang has already regarded TikTok short videos as her future way out. To put it bluntly, she regards TikTok as her future job. This is also the reason why she gets anxious when her popularity drops. If she loses her job at TikTok, she will be forced to go home and inherit the family property. This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. So that's how it is, Li Ziran said as he understood. Lin Chen said, if the video keeps repeating, fans will certainly get tired of it and find it boring. Then why don't you try other styles of cross-dressing? Maybe you can make it popular again. Zhu Weiman was pleasantly surprised. Wow, Lin Chen. You are really smart, you think the same as me. Actually, I came here today because I wanted Ziran to help me shoot a video. I don't want to go the cross-dressing route anymore, I want to go the dancing route. Dancing, can you dance? Lin Chen couldn't help but joke. Zhu Weiman said proudly, hey, Lin Chen, you actually asked a professional dancer such a question. Lin Chen, Weiman is a dancer, and she has been learning dance since elementary school. After saying that, Li Ziran looked at Zhu Weiman and said, I think you can give this idea a try. Do you want to shoot here? Why don't you go to the balcony? I'll give you your phone. Please help me take better pictures. However, as soon as Zhu Weiman finished speaking, the sound of a baby crying was heard in the bedroom. The baby is awake, Lin Chen, why don't you help me take the photo, Weiman? After Li Ziran finished speaking, he immediately ran to the bedroom. Lin Chen was just about to follow Zi Ran back to the room to take a look. But Zhu Weiman stopped him. Lin Chen, don't leave, please help me take a video. I'll just do a little dance and it will be over in no time. All right. Although Lin Chen was somewhat reluctant, he still agreed reluctantly. Afterwards, Lin Chen took Zhu Weiman's phone and they went to the balcony of the villa together. The balcony is very large, covering an area of 30 square meters, which will not hinder Joey Wong from dancing at all. Vivian Chow, are you ready? I'm going to start dancing. At this time, looking at Zhu Weiman who was preparing to dance, Lin Chen always felt a little awkward. So Lin Chen said, wait a moment. What's wrong? Zhu Weiman looked at Lin Chen curiously. Lin Chen suggested, why don't you take off your little leather shoes and dance? Chapter 29 Zhu Weiman's grandfather invites Lin Chen to dinner. Zhu Weiman was confused. I took off my little leather shoes and danced in white silk calf socks. Yes. Lin Chen said seriously, wearing white silk and stepping on the floor will better highlight your temperament. Zhu Weiman looked at Lin Chen cautiously and asked tentatively, you don't want to see my legs, do you? Are you a penis control? Don't get me wrong, I'm not interested in you. Lin Chen shook his head. That's good, otherwise Ziran will be jealous. Zhu Weiman was all smiles. Lin Chen. I saw Zhu Weiman taking off her little leather shoes and walking on the floor in her white socks. Okay, I'm going to start. Zhu Weiman said, and then the background music started and she began to dance to the music. The moment Zhu Weiman started dancing, Lin Chen quickly selected the best angle and kept moving the camera, appearing extremely professional. Soon a video of more than 10 seconds was recorded. Lin Chen, show me the video. Zhu Weiman stretched out her hand towards Lin Chen. Lin Chen returned the phone to her. Zhu Weiman clicked on the video and watched it carefully. Lin Chen, great photos. It's much better than the ones Ziran took for me last time. You can actually move the camera, that's amazing. Have you ever studied photography? Suddenly, Zhu Weiman began to admire Lin Chen. Generally, after a TikTok video is recorded, it needs to be post-processed before being sent out. However, the photos taken by Lin Chen do not require any post-processing at all. It's all natural, without a single unnecessary shot. I haven't learned it. Lin Chen said. Zhu Weiman gave Lin Chen a thumbs up. You are so professional without any training? That's amazing. Photography is simple, is there still a need to learn it? Lin Chen said with a smile. Zhu Weiman couldn't help but give Lin Chen a blank look. She always felt that this guy was being Versailles. Hui minute, have you finished filming your TikTok? At this time, Li Ziran came out of the bedroom holding Sibao. The filming is finished. Zhu Weiman said as she put on her little leather shoes. Then she said to Lin Chen, my grandfather likes the painting you drew for me very much. He said that if there is a chance, he would like to get to know you. Do you think it's okay? Li Ziran was a little surprised when she heard what Zhu Weiman said. Zhu Weiman's grandfather is a famous Chinese painting master in Shanghai. He actually wants to meet Lin Chen. Does that mean that Lin Chen's painting has been recognized by him? Thinking of this, Li Ziran also felt proud. Her husband was really awesome. Sure. Lin Chen smiled and said, if there is a chance, you can ask your grandfather to treat me to a meal, so that I can get to know him. Puff. Zhu Weiman smiled, Lin Chen, you are really not polite at all, but your suggestion is good, I will go back and talk to my grandfather. Afterwards, Joey Wong stayed in the villa for a while and then left because she had other things to do. At the same time, Li Qianhong was invited to participate in an antique exchange event, and the antique he brought was the night pearl given to him by Lin Chen. Brother Li, your night-shining pearl seems to be something extraordinary. Let me see it. A man wearing glasses who looked a bit like Ma Huateng said this, and then Li Qianhong gave him the night pearl in his hand. Li Qianhong smiled and said, it's nothing to look at. It's just a high imitation, not a real night-shining pearl. But even though it's a high-end imitation, it should still be worth some money. This is why Li Qianhong changed her mind and brought the night pearl to the event, because this is a night pearl. Even if it is just a high-quality imitation, it is still very precious. Oh my goodness, why do I feel like this isn't a replica, but rather the real thing? After watching for a while, Lu Zun said with some shock. Li Qianhong shook his head, you must be joking. Look carefully, this is clearly a high imitation. No, no, I feel like it's the real thing. President Xu, come and take a look at this night pearl. Lu Xun shouted, and immediately all the big guys present looked over here. Then, Shuao slowly came over, smiling and asked, "What's wrong?" Shuao. Visiting professor at Magic University. Museum history expert. Of course, he is also the president of the Antiques Association. It can be said that when it comes to antique identification, Shuao is better than everyone here. President Xu, please take a look at this night shining pearl. Lu Xun handed the night pearl to Shuao. Shuao hurriedly looked at it carefully, and then his pupils dilated little by little, and an incredible look appeared on his face. This is a real night shining pearl. Shuao said firmly. Wow. Hearing this, many bigwigs present were shocked. Night shining pearl. The treasure that Empress Dowager Cixi loved so much during her lifetime. Wasn't it said that it was lost abroad and collected by an American oil tycoon? How could it appear here? This is impossible, right? The most confused person at this moment is undoubtedly Li Qianhong. This is actually a real night shining pearl? Lu Xun, tell me quickly, where did you get this night pearl? Shuao asked excitedly. It's not mine, it's his. Lu Xun pointed at Li Qianhong. Shuao looked at Li Qianhong excitedly and asked, Brother Li, where did you get this night pearl? This was given to me by my son-in-law. Li Qianhong said truthfully. Son-in-law? Hearing this, Shuao was stunned, then smiled and said, Brother Li, your son-in-law is incredible. This chapter is not finished yet, please click on the next page to continue reading the exciting content. If the night pearl had always been in China and not lost overseas, it must be a national treasure. But even so, it is priceless. Yes, if this were to be auctioned, it would be worth at least several hundred million, a big shot nearby echoed. Be bold, I think it's worth at least 1 billion. Passerby boss number 1, Brother Li, your son-in-law actually gave you a night shining pearl. I'm so envious. Passerby boss number 2, my son-in-law gave me 2 kilograms of tea for the Mid-Autumn Festival, the kind worth 200 yuan. Your son-in-law is really capable. Passerby number 3, Brother Li, can you sell this night pearl to me? I'll pay you 300 million. I'll give you 400 million. All of a sudden, many wealthy antique dealers wanted to buy the night pearl from Li Qianhong at a high price. If he was really short of money, Li Qianhong might hesitate. However, Li Qianhong is not short of money at all, he is a big boss himself. No, no, no. Li Qianhong was speechless and said, this is a gift from my son-in-law. How can you resell it? For a moment, everyone was silent, but their eyes were still burning with envy. After the exchange meeting, Li Qianhong called Lin Chen immediately. Xiao Chen, the night shining pearl you gave me is actually a genuine one. Hearing this, Lin Chen smiled and replied, didn't I tell you when I gave it to you that this is the real thing? After hearing what Lin Chen said, Li Qianhong immediately remembered that Lin Chen had indeed said that day. It's just that my identification skills are not good enough and I think it's a high imitation and I don't believe it. After ending the call with my father-in-law, another call came in. Lin Chen looked at the note, Vivian Chow. What's wrong? Lin Chen asked. Zhu Weiman smiled and said, Lin Chen, my grandfather wants to treat you to dinner tonight, do you have time? No, I just said it casually. Did you really ask your grandfather to treat me to a meal? Lin Chen said helplessly that he was just joking with Zhu Weiman last time. Zhu Weiman said, it's just a meal, what's the big deal? The key is that my grandfather really wants to meet you. Not much to say, Grandpa and I will be waiting for you at Tianyu Hotel tonight. After saying that, without giving Lin Chen any chance to refuse, Zhu Weiman hung up the phone. Lin Chen was even more helpless. At this time, Li Ziran asked, what's wrong? Who called? It's Vivian Chow. She said her grandfather will treat me to dinner tonight. Lin Chen said truthfully. Then go ahead. Li Ziran smiled and said, my mom and I are at home taking care of the children. It's not like you don't have time to go out. But I don't want to go. To be honest, Lin Chen is not very interested in getting to know Zhu Weiman's grandfather. Because he thinks everyone is complicated. Who knows if he wants to know me for some other purpose? It's not that Lin Chen is making malicious assumptions about others, but in today's society we should be more cautious about everything. Why don't you want to go? Li Ziran asked. Lin Chen said, because I want to stay at home with you and the baby. In my heart, you and the baby are the most important. You're so smooth talking. You only know how to make me happy. Li Ziran rolled her eyes at Lin Chen. She said this, but she was actually very happy in her heart. I'm speaking the truth, so why are you being glib? Lin Chen said with a wicked smile. But seriously, if Grandpa Zhu Huimin really wants to get to know you, you should go have a meal with him. Li Ziran said, just consider it as giving Huimin face. Lin Chen nodded. 6 o'clock in the evening. After Lin Chen coaxed Sanbao to sleep, he said something to his mother-in-law and Li Ziran, then took the car keys and went out. Tianyu Hotel. This is a 5-star hotel in Shanghai. Only those who can afford to eat here are rich or noble. When Lin Chen parked the car and just arrived at the door, his cell phone rang. It was Vivian Chow calling again. Lin Chen, have you arrived? Zhu Huimin asked. Lin Chen said, I just arrived, how about you? My grandfather and I are stuck in a traffic jam here. Lin Chen, why don't you go to the box and wait for us? It will probably take another 7 or 8 minutes for me. Zhu Huimin said. Lin Chen said, sure, what's the box number? 9527. After that, Zhu Huimin said, let's not talk about Lin Chen for now. I'm hanging up now. After the call, Lin Chen walked into the hotel lobby. Welcome. Several beauties in uniform bowed to Lin Chen. Lin Chen. As Lin Chen was walking, a voice suddenly sounded behind him. Then he turned around and found a familiar face. Zhang Dao. Lin Chen, long time no see. Zhang Dao was very happy to see that Lin Chen remembered him. Lin Chen was a little surprised. He didn't expect to meet his high school classmate Zhang Dao here. He remembered that Zhang Dao was expelled from school when he was in his second year of high school because of fighting. After that, apart from liking each other's posts on WeChat moments, the two rarely chatted. However, when Zhang Dao was still in school, he had a good relationship with Lin Chen. Are you coming here to eat? Zhang Dao asked with a smile. Yes. Lin Chen nodded slightly. Then, the two began to reminisce about the past. After some chatting, Lin Chen learned that Zhang Dao was doing well now. He is the person in charge of this hotel. Monthly salary of 50,000. By the way, Lin Chen, you should have graduated from college now, right? This chapter is not over yet, please click on the next page to continue reading. Zhang Dao changed the subject and asked. Lin Chen nodded. Although he had temporarily suspended his studies, he had no plans to go back to school. So what kind of job are you doing now? Zhang Dao asked gently. I don't have a job. Zhang Dao was surprised. Lin Chen smiled and said, I am at home taking care of the children full time. No way. You are married. Zhang Dao was even more surprised. Lin Chen said, no, the child is born, but there is no wedding banquet yet. Zhang Dao immediately understood what was going on when he heard this. It turned out that she was pregnant before marriage. But nowadays, it is normal to get pregnant before marriage, so he naturally won't say much. So you are taking care of the kids at home every day now? Zhang Dao asked. Lin Chen nodded and said, yes. Brother, you can't do this. Zhang Dao patted Lin Chen on the shoulder and said helplessly, we are men. We should go out to earn money to support our families. As for taking care of children, that is a woman's job. Tell me the truth, can't you find a job? No. Lin Chen shook his head helplessly. Zhang Dao really misunderstood him. Do I need to go out to work? Not at all. Okay brother, stop explaining. I understand you. Looking at Lin Chen's helpless expression, Zhang Dao knew that he guessed right. When I first entered society, didn't I also encounter obstacles everywhere, which made me feel very inferior? When I meet a classmate who used to do well, he asks me, what job do you do? I'm too embarrassed to say it directly. But now it's okay. With his own efforts, Zhang Dao has achieved a reversal in life and has an annual salary of 500,000. Well, brother, why don't you come and join me? This hotel just so happens to be in need of a front office manager. You come here and be the front office manager. As for the salary, I will take care of you. The monthly salary is 12,000 yuan, including food and accommodation, as well as 5 insurances and 1 housing fund. How's that, bro? This sure beats you being home with the kids. Zhang Dao spoke to Lin Chen from the bottom of his heart. He was not pretending to be cool in front of Lin Chen. Instead, he sincerely wanted to help Lin Chen out of the consideration of their old friendship.